Joel, and Matt. Congratulations on 200 episodes of the Comic Multiverse podcast.
So we are going to clap for 200 minutes.
We are not going to do that.
We're not.
I thought that was the plan.
That's straight up not.
Too many minutes.
You made that up.
Yeah. Also, no. They don't want to watch that, and I don't want to do that. Instead, we'll just give you a hearty well wishes and congratulations. Here. 200 episodes is a milestone. Hell, it's twice a milestone. Because, you get to 1, you're like, all right. You get to 2, it's like, uh-oh.
Now we gotta get to 3.
Yeah, now I was like, now I gotta keep celebrating milestones. At 300, you're gonna go, do we even care anymore?
Then you're gonna wait till 5, and then you're gonna be like, all right, 1,000.
Yeah, well, then you get to 5, and you're like, woo! And then you don't do, and anything until 1,000.
Yeah.
So here's to 1,000 episodes of the comic.
What about
multiverse.
750?
750 is a fun number. I also like 350, but I'm going by comic book milestones. 350, 750, those are good numbers.
And what is the 200 episode
What do you get?
anniversary?
Yeah,
is it like the silver or
yeah.
the
That's kind of early for the silver.
Yeah.
No, that's way too. That's more
way
like
too
more
soon.
like lint.
Yeah, you don't. It's
Lint?
way too early for
Yeah, you
bronze.
gotta start really
Is
low.
lint one of them?
Paper. Paper is fine.
It's the paper.
You get paper,
milestone,
but not money paper.
I think paper is like the early ones.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, paper was 100.
They're only at 200, and we're talking about 1,000.
200. 200 should be like, chalkboard or magic or erase marker. Or something
Oh,
like
a dry erase marker.
Dry erase
Yeah.
markers?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, they're in the mail, so enjoy. But yeah, congratulations, you guys.
How could you lie like that?
Yeah, no, they're not getting it. I'm sorry. Well, one thing's for certain. Matt's cool.
He's not from Canada, right?
No, he's Australian.
There you go.
So you're a place that I've never been and will never go.
Does he have cracking unboxings?
And we'll never be.
So does he have cracking unboxings?
I don't know if he's from there.
Oh.
I mean, it's Australia. It's just one big, crazy
Yeah, it's all like
island
that.
full of
Yeah, after his coffee in the morning, he has a
horrible
crack
bugs
unboxing in the toilet.
and
And
criminals.
snakes.
Can I come talk with you
Killer
guys
stingrays.
instead of the
What a
end of my
disaster.
couch?
What's happening over there?
I don't know.
You don't want to know.
hilarious.
What a disaster that island is.
Yeah.
It's full of criminals and bugs that'll kill you, and surrounded by sharks.
Okay, no, it was full of criminals.
No, I'm just gonna. No.
Sharks and a
Ben's not part of this
barrier
anymore.
to ships that will wreck them.
Yes.
And cause them to be rent
It's
upon
almost like
the
the
shores.
Earth itself was like, don't come
Don't
here.
go.
Well, that's why it was a penal colony. They're like, dump
Yeah.
them someplace where no one will be able to get them, and they will never be able to escape.
Can we woo again?
Yeah,
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah, do
Yeah.
Woo!
Griffins of Glasgow. You said we didn't
Yeah,
own
we
the
own
other
that,
one.
right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
we-
that's a parody.
Yeah, we could do that. That's fair
All right.
use.
Copyright TM Comic Pop.
Yeah.
Booyah.
Enjoy.
Anyway,
your
congratulations.
congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations, you guys.
Real woos. Woo!
Yeah, genuine woos.
Woo! Woo!
Woo.
Woo.
So what do you guys want to eat after this? You have to leave.
Yeah, well, what time is it? Let's
It's
see.
like
Ha ha
9.
ha.
Is it 9? Well, then I gotta go.
I don't want poutine now.
Yeah, oh no, I gotta
Oh,
go.
oh.
Hey guys, this is Cat Comic Uno, and I wanted to congratulate both Matt and Joel for their 200 episodes for their podcast, and here's to another 200 more.
Matt, Joel, guys, 200 episodes. Just wanted to say congratulations. I hope you guys are proud of yourselves, because you should be. That's a lot of hard work. So, from all the other comic book nerds out there, on their behalf, here's to 200 more. Thanks for all the hard work, and keep it up, guys.
Hi there, Joel. I just want to come in here real quick and say congratulations on 200 episodes of the Comic Multiverse podcast. That is a huge accomplishment and something that you absolutely should be proud of. I mean, not everyone can hit 200 episodes of something. I mean, that's how many episodes The Simpsons went on for until they became terrible and no one wanted to watch them anymore. So if you maintain your level of quality for one more episode, that means that you win. In all seriousness, Joel, you're a great guy. You're one of the best personalities here in the comic book landscape that is YouTube. I mean, Joel is such a nice guy. He's the only person on YouTube that still actually wants to work with me, which I don't understand that. I wouldn't if I was him. Have you seen me? No one wants to work with me. I'm a human garbage fire. And yet Joel still wants to have me on things because Joel is just a good person. Of course he is. He's Canadian, which means he's automatically better than me. And some would even say, you at home. There, now that I have come in here and completely alienated your entire fan base, my work here is done. Congratulations, Joel. Here's to 200 more episodes, which is what someone always says when they can't think of how to end one of these congratulation videos.
Hey, Jason Inman here, and I want to give a big congrats to an awesome pal of mine, Kate Joel, for reaching 200 episodes on the Comic Multiverse podcast. I don't know if you know this, but usually in the comic book universe, when you hit 200 of anything, that means it's time for a reboot. So I look forward to meeting Joel Rebirth. Congrats!
And hello, and welcome everyone to the Comic Multiverse 200 episode spectacular. Matt, can you actually believe that we've been doing it for this long?
I can't. 200 episodes. Where did that time go?
I have no freaking clue, man, especially now as we're all living in quarantine and time is stretching out longer and longer. I can still remember, actually, like 3 odd years ago now, when you said, hey, Joel, should we do another podcast because we no longer work at Name Redacted? And you had to actually talk me into it because I wasn't sure, because we had done hundreds of episodes worth of podcasts over on that other show, and it's like, well, I just don't know, man. So I'm glad you did it, and everyone needs to give Matt the credit, because if it wasn't for him, we might not have done another show.
Yeah, we did on that other show, what did we do? Probably 200 episodes or over 200 episodes.
It was at least close to 300 because we did the main show with the other guys, and then we did our side show, Blood, Sweat Comics, which was really just a precursor to the Comic Multiverse.
It was, yeah. It kind of morphed into this.
It really did. This is just a continuation of that. On that show, we would just talk about the comics we read during the week and maybe a little comic news. And here, it just became an everything show and some talk about comics that we read during the week.
Yeah, and then we decided that we'd try and do them live and live stream it all, and it seems to have worked for the most part pretty well.
Definitely, we never look back. We have at least almost 50 of our fans here in the chat right now. Thank you for joining us on this Saturday. I'm glad Matt also had the idea to do the show on Saturday because we have no conflicting things from other comic book YouTubers, many of whom are our friends and who were very nice to give us a little congrats video, which I appreciate.
Yes, thank you to all those guys that sent the videos. I had fun editing them all together.
Yeah, they're all wonderful people, and I'm glad they could show up for this. Lord knows they owe me one. This is that moment of I'm calling in a favor, everyone, is what I'm doing. I must say I really like Jason Inman saying, after 200 episodes, that's usually when a show reboots and they got to do something crazy and different. And I did actually do something crazy and different for this. Ta-da!
Yeah. Oh my god, that was fucking perfect timing on that subscription. Holy fuck, that was perfect timing.
Wow. Yeah, thank you, Dark Ballista, for that. What are the odds of that? I am the all-new and all-different Joel come to celebrate this 200th episode spectacular, and I'm glad you already picked the yellow gold stuff. I didn't tell Matt this, by the way. I wanted to get his reaction and also show off that I paid $30 for a special custom hat to fit my giant freak head.
Yeah, as D. Cappy said, you look like the spy from Jurassic Park.
Yeah, a little bit. I got a little of that when I showed people today, saying you look like you should be standing next to Justin Timberlake in a '90s boy band. You look like Joey Fatone before Joey Fatone did other things, and I'm like, yeah, I can dig that. I'm okay with that. That's fine. So, yeah, there you go. I was bored today and figure I should do something different. I always said if I hit like a Twitch milestone, if I ever made over $100 in donations, I would do this. So I'm like, screw it. Let's be real Twitch big boys, and I'll dye my hair a crazy color. The chat saying Joel went Super Saiyan.
You should have filmed yourself dyeing your hair. We could have had that at the end of the video or something, or a Patreon exclusive of the video or something.
Trust me, it was not attractive. It was me hunched over the bathtub in in my freaking tank top shirt in the sweltering heat, trying to get it right, and then just wearing a towel on my head, being like, it's going right. I didn't get it too coppery. I didn't get it too weird. But yeah, this is good shit. So yeah. Oh wow, we got 54 people who were here.
Wow.
See, I'm glad I told everyone you need to be here live when it happens, because shit's going down. You had the false flag operation that was all of our friends coming and saying nice words. Then you had the real reveal.
And it fucking worked out perfectly.
Indeed. So I guess this is the part of the show too where we talk about our week. How's your week been, Matt?
Yeah, pretty good. Been playing some of that Ghost of Tsushima again.
Yeah.
Almost, I think I've just entered Act 3, so I've got, like, as we were talking about before, we got, like, that really cool ghost armor that I'm wearing nothing but because it's so cool.
Oh, hey, thanks, Pat Senior, for the subscription. Hey.
Yeah, playing some of that. I'm guessing, I'm nearing the end of the game. I've still got, like, half the top part of the island to, like explore and everything. But,
it's a big game.
It's a big game, but then it's also not a big game. Like, it's the open world is just the right size.
Yes, and it
where
looks
it's not
very
where
pretty.
it's not like you're looking at the map going, "Fuck, I gotta go all the way over there," and
and you're always looking at it, which is very cool and a very good design.
Yeah.
So that's basically what I've been doing too. Just trying to catch up on videos and everything. I had a big crisis earlier in the week where I'm like, should I keep reviewing Doom Patrol on the channel because it's not doing great and it takes like twice the amount of work. And then someone said, no, you should keep doing it because like literally the next episode is the last one because they couldn't film it all in time.
Oh, really?
Yes. So next week's Doom Patrol is the last one.
Oh, I was under the assumption it was like Stargirl. They'd managed to film the whole show.
No, apparently not. Apparently they had like one or two they couldn't. So this one will be the season 2 finale, and we'll have to pick up with it again next season.
At least they're not gonna do like what Blacklist did and horribly animate the ending.
Yeah, or even what Flash did, where they're like, to be continued. Please come back.
all the CW shows did that.
They really did, and it was really awkward. At least with Doom Patrol. The first, 8 episodes we've had, they're definitely building a bigger story, but they've all been self-contained episodes.
Yeah. They've got little sprinkles of the overall plot with Dorothy and what's happening with her, plus, weird, wacky adventures with Vic and Robot Man and all those sort of stuff, yeah.
Hey, again, thank you, Pat Senior, for putting a little change in the jar. Always appreciated.
Thank you.
Never expected. Always appreciated.
Yeah.
So I guess too, with 200 episodes, now is the time to start, looking back and everything. And obviously, because the chat is here and because we have so many people, what has your favorite bit been from the first 200 episodes of Comic Multiverse? I know that's asking a lot. I always enjoyed it when we went off on our little tangents and everything. And I know our friends out there like Stank Sinatra always did a good job trying to keep all of our tangents together.
Yeah, favorite thing. There's so many. I'm just trying to remember some of them.
Exactly, and we're too close to the material.
Yeah.
I was trying to go back and listen to some ones today. I remember you and I were laughing pretty hard at do you hear Dan DiDio, before he got fired, he would hide around corners in the DC offices, and if he saw you were reading Nightwing, he'd smack it out of you with his big, large hands.
With his big, huge ape hands.
And then run away, giggling. Oh, it was fun. Or all the Batman writers who met up at the CN Tower and looked down at the convention below. They look like ants. They are ants. As someone in the chat says, Brown Lanterns, was that a Comic Multiverse thing or a Blood Sweat Comics thing? I think that might have been Blood Sweat Comics, but fuck it, it was us.
Yeah, it was still us.
We claim it. The lost episode where you couldn't hear Joel, so it sounded like Matt was talking to himself. Ooh, that's a Patreon thing. That's a special Patreon fuck up.
Cyber Soldier Day with the Moon People one.
Oh, the Moon People is good. Yeah, we made that into a shirt. We haven't made a new Comic Multiverse shirt design in a bit, but we absolutely should.
We should now for 200, yeah.
We really should. I need to get on Fiverr and find me a good artist who will do some. You're right, the ever-growing Scott Lobdell v. Joel saga. It's true, it is a fucking anime saga. He's my goddamn Buggy the Clown. He keeps coming back over and over again. Though I believe the evil has finally been vanquished a decade in.
Yeah, a decade later.
Yeah, there you go. Ain't coming back. Yes, that's right. Prank calling Grant Morrison. That was the other thing. Hee, we should call Grant Morrison and see if he wants to write Batman again. Oh, yeah, sure. You can start whenever you want. That'll be fun. Yeah, so again, just so many. Obviously, in the comments section, I'll like to go back later when people have had more time to think about their favorite moments. Oh, the Logan commentary where it's like, yeah, in the future, it turns out Alex Jones was right and corn will kill us all.
Yeah, and the frogs were turned gay.
The frogs were turned gay. I mean, I hate to give the man credit, but apparently it was all the corn that will kill us all.
And lobsters are psychic.
Batman doing wheelies on Joe Chill's grave. That was a good one from recent memory. You're right. I have a motorcycle now. I'm a big motorcycle boy. Take that, Joe Chill. Vroom, vroom. Oh, wow. Cyborg Soldier started listening to us 1 month before DC Rebirth started. Damn.
Damn, that's what, 5 years ago?
Yeah, that's pretty close to when we broke off and started doing our own thing.
Yeah.
Which was kind of
not long before that, yeah.
Yeah, which was kind of the perfect time to do it. Joel doing Dusty Rhodes impression. I want to see him go into the water, baby. Is what I want to see him to do. I'm going to give him the bionic elbow. Apparently don't do that in front of his son, Cody. Apparently Cody fucking hates that when people do that.
Really?
Yeah, when they do impressions of his father. I can't blame him because literally everyone in his life who meets him loves his dad and wants to do an impression of him. And it's like, please stop doing an impression of my dead father.
Oh, no.
I can't blame him for that. I'd probably be the same. Yeah, I know he was a fun dude and had a funny way of talking, but still. Oh, yeah, remember when we did Alpha's Magical Christmas for Christmas, a movie that was in our commentary bank for, like, ever and ever?
Yeah, oh, God. That was a couple of Christmases ago, wasn't it?
That was. I don't know what we're going to do this year. I think we've actually dug the sewage pipe pretty deep on shitty Christmas movies. We might need to find something new.
As I said, there's a version. It's pretty shitty quality. There's a version of the Spider-Man musical on YouTube.
Yeah, that's definitely got to be on the list. You're right. We got to do that at some point. Also, do you remember? I think I tried to pitch it last year, but I don't know if we could do it in time because of scheduling conflicts. It was the Rap City Kids Save Christmas, which is like this really terrible CG animated thing that got a lot of AAA voice talent, but was almost certainly put together as a money laundering operation.
I do remember you talking about that, yeah.
We might need to do that this year too, because there's a lot of great talent in that really debasing themselves. Again, I wish I could get to the chat here because we're getting some really nice stories too about, how people discovered us. And again, hey, our hearts are warmed and we're really glad that you could be with us here on such a big important night. And believe it or not, you actually do get just a regular episode of the podcast as well, because we do have news and we did read stuff this week.
Yeah, we read a lot of stuff this week, or at least I did.
Yeah, I tried to read. I got more done this week, but I also had to make some very difficult cuts. I had to cut some digital stuff. I had to cut some tie-ins, but I think I might actually be on top of stuff fucking finally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which it's about goddamn time. So yeah, let's hop into the news this week, everyone. And if you stick around, and I'm sure some of you will, we'll be sure to do a Q&A at the end of it. I think I think it's been earned. I think it's been deserved.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what do we got going on here in news this week? So last week, our big story that we ran with is that Tom Taylor was probably doing something with Injustice again, because he showed all the different letters and all the different fonts, and pretty much everyone, myself included, jumped to the conclusion that, oh yeah, this is what it's gotta be. Well, yes and no, because apparently the letters ended up spelling out JSA, and he also shared some art of another old-timey DC hero.
Yeah, Amazing Man, and as it turns out, yeah, it's for Injustice Year Zero.
Which is a great name and a great concept, because it's like, well, you've already done all the future stuff, what are you possibly going to do now? Well, you're going to go back to the past, a la Samurai Jack.
Yeah, so we're going to get basically the Injustice universe before it was the Injustice universe, which basically means it's the actual DC universe.
Yeah, which is fine for me, and I wonder, is he going to start planting the seeds for, what's going to happen in the future, or is this just an excuse to play around with some characters he never got to play around with?
Probably a bit of both.
And it probably helps a lot, too, that, obviously the JSA is back in vogue now because of Stargirl and everything. So a lot of people are thinking of these characters again.
Yep.
So it is and isn't Injustice 3.
Yeah, and I imagine this could actually lead into an Injustice 3, like, somehow, like, teasers or something. They could always set part of the story in, like, the present of the Injustice universe or something.
We'll have more to talk about that as well, because there's another story that actually pertains quite a lot to DC Comics, Warner Brothers Entertainment, and the makers of the Injustice video games, which have always had a bit of a symbiotic relationship. But we'll get to that one in a minute. And by a minute, of course, I mean right now, because that's the next one I wrote on the thing, and I was stalling for time until I got my page up there. That's also why the light changes here from my Skype screen to the actual internet screen. But yeah, EA is apparently rumored to want to buy Warner Brothers games right now. Of course, the makers of Injustice and Mortal Kombat and all those Lord of the Rings games, too.
Yeah, and people who don't know, EA have quite the habit of doing this, like buying up studios, but then they gut those studios and basically just sit on the IPs and just don't do anything with them, or if they do, it's like a mobile game or something.
Matt McMuscles, formerly of the Two Best Friends, has an excellent series out there where he talks about, like, gone too soon game developers, and like 5 of them, the story is always the same. Like, oh yeah, EA bought them, cannibalized them, then closed them down, and is now sitting on all these beloved properties that will probably never be made into anything ever again. EA is basically the Borg of video games.
Yeah. And if they did this for Warner Brothers, I don't think they would sit on so many Warner Brothers properties, because there's stuff like they own stuff like Batman, the DC characters, Harry Potter, stuff like Mortal Kombat, stuff like. I don't think they'll sit on them, but you'll see games like that coming out that typical EA fashion, where they're fucking half cooked, full of fucking microtransactions. You're paying for like literally 10% of the game when you buy it from the shops, and still paying full price, stuff like that.
Yeah, which is a very nightmarish scenario, because I like a lot of the stuff that Warner Brothers Interactive puts out, even though, let's be real, Warner Brothers Interactive is not a nice studio in their own. They also are known for some very EA-ish tactics, again, putting out unfinished games, loot box-driven games, stuff like that. So in anything, this is like a match made in heaven or hell, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, it's definitely intriguing, because they're both kind of similar. So like, does that mean like they'd find a way to work out, like, are we going to get this new supposed Batman game, but it's going to have microtransactions in it now? Is it going to be running on like the Frostbite engine or something?
You see, we're going to charge you per Batarang, Matt. If you want new ones, you got to pay $5, and maybe you'll get it in your special Bat crate, but maybe you'll also just get, I don't know, a new skin or a voice pack.
Yeah.
And the chat is quick, too, to bring up a lot of companies that they killed. Yeah, Pandemic, Visceral, those guys that made those Cybertron games that everybody liked.
Yep, Redwood.
Yeah. Speaking of Cybertron, they put out that new Transformers thing this week on
Netflix.
I watched
the first good.
It is. It looks really nice. I watched the first 2 episodes before I started.
Yeah, it's great. Megatron's the hero.
Yeah, what's up with that? They're actually telling a story now where, like, freaking Megatron is an idealistic Che Guevara leader trying to overthrow the bourgeoisie primes.
And it works. It works.
Yeah, wow, what an interesting freaking 2020 take on this. Where it's just like, yeah, but what if these guys who you thought were bad were actually good, though, and we'll tell you why. Was not expected. And like Optimus Prime is like really inspiring, but like a really fucking impotent leader.
Yeah, he's really kind of like sour and like down on himself and all that. And it leads to like people betraying him very easily, because he's too easy to trust and everything. I imagine that's going to lead into like the Optimus we know, where he gives no fucks and just fucking murder you if you fucking betray him or something.
It's really interesting how, they can do a story we've heard 100 times before, but just tweak one little thing to it. It's like, oh, well, now it feels like a new story.
Yeah, the one thing that does stay the same though is Starscream's a cowardly piece of shit.
As it should be. I love in every version, whether it's Beast Wars, whether it's, Beast, any sort of Transformer series, Starscream is always the fucking, toady planning to stab you in the back.
Yeah, and the best thing is as well here in like how his design is, he's like smaller than everyone else.
Yes.
Which is really funny because he's got like a big ego and kind of builds himself up bigger than he is.
And he's getting bullied by Jetfire and the bigger jets. That's good stuff. But yeah, so keep your eyes peeled on this EA Warner Brothers things, because this will definitely affect Injustice. And in fact, I have to wonder, are the reason they're jumping now to do a new Injustice comic follow because they're like, well, the future of the games are unsure now.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Because the timing of this could not be, more suspect.
Yeah, it's definitely strange. Although in saying that, it could have been something that, because we have also just had San Diego Comic-Con apparently, and it could have been something that was meant to be announced then, like a week or so ago, and didn't because it didn't fucking happen.
Yeah, absolutely. The chat saying, hey, Joel, why didn't you dye your goatee to match it? Well, because then I would look like late period Scott Steiner. And that would be the problem. I'd be coming out here on the show talking about fat asses. Gotta get them fat asses. And no one wants that. Yeah, you had a chance. You had no chance. 33% chance. There you go, just me. It's the chemicals. Once they get into your brain, you start doing Steiner math. But so yeah, there's your video game update that is also tangentially connected to video games. So be afraid potentially.
Yeah, potentially.
Now again, we're not leaving Batman and we're not leaving DC in this show for a while, because our next piece of news actually relates to the brand new DC animated movie, the next one they got coming down the pipeline after that Superman one that I'm actually quite excited for.
Yeah, the Superman one looks great.
It does. This new Batman movie, though, makes me raise an eyebrow. Even to call it new makes me raise an eyebrow, because it's called Batman Death in the Family, based on the comic story of the same name. And let me basically give you a little reaction here. Let me walk you through what it was like when I saw the trailer for this. Ooh, Batman Death in the Family. That's an old story. That's fun they're doing that. Oh, hey, look, they got Bruce Greenwood back. Oh, wow, they're actually connecting this to the events of Under the Red Hood. Ah, that's fitting because, Under the Red Hood is having its anniversary this year. That's a really smart idea. I bet this movie will end where that one began. Oh no, wait, it keeps going, though.
It's just a remake.
It's literally a kind of a remake, but with a bit of a weird twist, because it's also a choose-your-own-adventure movie where you can choose if Jason Todd lives or dies, much like the original comic book story, which means that this is really only half a new movie, and then 3 kind of reworked versions of the end of Under the Red Hood, down to even some of the same shots from the original that they've just drawn over.
Yeah, they just made it look slightly new in like high definition. Yeah, this is weird on a number of levels. First, it's like, oh, fucking another Batman film. You're like the Superman one was meant to be the start of like the rebooted universe, or like Rebirth or whatever universe, and you just immediately go to fucking Batman after that and just go back to an old story that you've already told, and you're just redoing it.
Kinda, sorta, yeah. And in the back of my head, too, I'm like, well, at least, Death in the Family, it's old, it's a story with, name cachet and everything. It's like, oh, this feels even more so like you're trying to rehash Under the Red Hood, which you already did, and what people already hold up as being, like, one of the best ones you've ever done. This feels like you're flirting with disaster, honestly, with the pick your ending thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that's actually gonna work out.
I mean, I guess it makes sense thematically because obviously, people voted back in the day if Jason could live or die, though many people now would tell you that maybe that wasn't a great idea and that vote was probably probably rigged at some point or another. It just feels like a weird choice. Maybe they finally wised up to the idea where it's like, look, if it's a choose your own adventure DVD, then they'll have to buy the DVD and they just won't pirate these movies online, because let's face it, they're always online within seconds of them going up on like Apple and shit.
Yeah. Oh god, does that mean that's going to become a normal? Please no.
I sure hope not. I really sure hope not. Also, too, where it's like, hey, that Superman movie looked cool because it's like, ooh, you're actually going back to doing a unique art style and everything. Here it's like, oh, you're going back and doing an art style you did once before for another movie. Ooh.
But then going over it, and like there were some parts in that trailer that looked kind of cheap.
Yeah, because they were clearly just old scenes that they drew over. I'm like, if I was the original artist who did that, I'd be a little pissed that you literally drew over my drawing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about this. Also, too, apparently if Jason doesn't die / saves himself, he'll become Red Robin, but still might be a violent a-hole anyway, because that's where
still
his
blow
life
people up with rocket launchers and shit.
Yeah, because that's the way his life was going anyway. Also, kind of interesting take making him Red Robin, because that was Tim Drake's thing, but now he's Drake and not Red Robin anymore, so the kid who would be Red Hood becomes Red Robin. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's very strange.
And then he could also become a Hush. What the fuck?
Yeah. It's again, I think it's just like, oh, we had these assets from like previous movies.
Other movies, yeah.
Like we had these like cells drawn or something. We can just use them like, again.
Like literally, he just becomes Hush, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, what sense does that make?
It doesn't make it. I mean, I guess because like in Hush's story, the thing that they cut from the movie, he does fuck with him by making it seem like Jason came back to life, but he didn't.
Yeah, but that makes sense for Tommy Elliott to do that. To Bruce,
it doesn't.
But it doesn't make sense for just Jason to be. I'm gonna be Hush now.
Yeah, it makes no sense for any of this, absolutely. And then they retconned it later to be like, no, that wasn't Clayface, that was actually him, and he switched out at the last second, and none of this shit's gonna be in the fucking movie, so...
No.
It's just a fucking weird choice. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm gonna see it, but...
Yeah, it's very strange.
This movie has like 3 things really working against it.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, really working against it. And I thought it'd be different, Matt. I thought it was going to be different. You promised me, DC Animation, that you were going to be different. You were going to change.
Yeah. But no, we're going back to Batman.
Here you are, drinking again. You're drinking that Bat Kool-Aid. You have a problem, DC Animation. And until you admit that problem, we can't be together. At least not as much. I mean, we can be together from the hours of like 2 to 4 in the morning when I can't sleep, and I'm like, well, I'll check this out, I guess. That's how it works. CrusaderCon, didn't Joel make a joke about them using stick figures eventually? Yeah, I think I did, if it keeps getting any cheaper and if they keep cutting any more corners.
Just action figures or something.
I keep expecting Young Justice Season 4, and I liked Young Justice Season 3, but you could tell there were budget cuts. I really expect Season 4 to just be Greg Weisman to come out and be like, okay, so what I wanted to do this season was...
Yeah, his little shitty drawings. It's like, look, and this stick figure is Robin, and this stick figure is Superboy, and they're gonna fight, and then stuff. Blue Beetle, you like Blue Beetle, guys?
Yeah, and I promise if I had done it, it would have looked really good if they had given me the money. I promise. I have a whole... Here's my show Bible. It has 10 years worth of stories in it that I've been sitting on this whole time. I promise it would be good. Also, too, as the chat mentions, hey, Harley Quinn is on HBO Max now. Yes, it is. In fact, hey, keep your eyes peeled to the comic multiverse in the coming episodes next month, because I have something interesting and Harley Quinn related lined up.
I wonder what that could be.
I wonder what it could be. Well, Matt knows what it is, but I'm not telling you yet. Which, again, everyone, hey, don't think we jumped the shark at episode 200 and you can stop watching now. I promise I have plenty of new things planned. In fact, I'd actually been putting off like interviews and other things where I'm like, no, wait for after 200, because then I gotta show that I still have shit in the tank. That's what I'm about. So, yeah, there's your Batman movie. I don't know what to think about it. At least they got the voice cast back.
Yeah, well, they only got Bruce Greenwood back, didn't they? They haven't gotten like the guys that played Jason back, did they?
I think they got John DiMaggio back, and I'm pretty sure they got Jensen Ackles back.
Okay, then. I suppose that'd be pretty cool.
And also, too, apparently Talia is going to play a bigger part in this, which makes me think they're probably going to adapt some stuff from Red Hood Lost Days, where she was a bigger character. And they actually have a Middle Eastern woman playing Talia al Ghul for the first time ever.
Oh, fantastic.
That only took, 3 decades?
Oh, yeah.
Well, better late than never. Progress is a roller coaster sometimes. But yeah, so what else do we got coming down here? Oh, again, more Batman news. Well, tangential Batman news. It's about a Batman writer, but he does other stuff too. And in fact, he's going to be doing a lot. That guy is Scott Snyder, and apparently he's trying to revive the DC's writer workshop program that's been absent from the company for the last 3 years.
Yeah, it's a real shame they kind of stopped doing it, gave up on it or something. Cause, like at the start of the Rebirth, we used to get we actually got one this week technically. We get the specials that had these young starting out writers writing a small story, and they're all really fucking good.
They were. It's also hey, comic industry, you have to cultivate your own talent. You just can't keep poaching it from other places. I know you'd like to, hey, this guy is a journalist. This guy wrote here for this publication. Let's see if they're a nerd and want to write comics. And yes, admittedly, sometimes you do end up getting some pretty solid talent, like your Saladin Amids and your Ta-Nehisi Coates and everything. But still, you can't keep doing that. You should, you should try and boost your industry. You should try and have a farm league within your company. And Snyder is the perfect man to do this, because if you know about his life before, he was a teacher. He wrote writing, and many of his students, James Tynion, Kyle Higgins, Marguerite Bennett, and everything, all basically came from one of his writing programs. So the man has good fucking eye for talent.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, and all of them are like superstar writers at the moment. James Tynion's writing Batman, followed on from his teacher,
Absolutely. Again, is Batman going to be this Jedi thing now where it's I was the master and I passed it to my apprentice. One day you too will pass Batman to your apprentice. And then one day you will pass it to the wrong apprentice who was filled with darkness and evil. His name was Tom King. No, that's not fair. But yeah, so this is a cool idea. I like this. I like anything that helps empower young, hungry creators. Which we're young, hungry creators, Matt. We don't write anything, but if they wanted to give us a backup, we'd write it, the Comic Multiverse backup.
Hey, the amount of pitches we've had over the years of these 200 shows, some of them have been pretty damn good.
Yeah, man, someone's got to do a super cut of that, just all of our pitches.
And then send it to DC, just spam them.
Yeah, really.
Fandom's coming up. Spam them then.
There you go. We'll do it. I wrote one fandom question. You can write more. I should go back and try and write some more.
Did you write it about the Scott Snyder box and the box he gave to... We got to do that.
I wrote one for James Gunn, mainly just because I wanted James Gunn. Say my name, James Gunn. Also, thank you, Knight67. But no, you're absolutely right. I should write one for Snyder, and we should say, what's in the box? What was in Green Arrow's box? Also, when is Green Arrow coming back?
Oh, he's busy. Checkmate and Leviathan.
And that series on hold indefinitely, so we never know when the fuck that's coming back.
No.
The character's literally in limbo right now, and I hate it.
Yeah.
What's another thing? I was just thinking about the Green Arrow run a couple days ago. They teased Connor Hawke coming back, and then he just never came back.
Nah.
We saw his silhouette. That was clearly the plan, but then that got scuttled, and he just never came back.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal with that was.
Connor Hawke is in the box. They'll open it up. He's like, hello, it's me.
That's the thing, yeah, when the box opened at the end of that last issue, that was him coming out of the box and going off to, I don't know, do something.
It's me, I'm Connor Hawke, I'm back. I don't know why I talk like this now. Hello.
I'm surprised he hasn't shown up in like Young Justice or something.
Yeah, you would think so. Well, it's because everyone
they got Artemis and Arrowette, so why not?
It's because everyone wants to do their own one, and Connor was always the unloved one.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Even next to what is it? Even next to fucking poor Roy, who is dead.
Yes, still dead.
Still dead. That one gets me. They were so quick to try and clean up their mess with Heroes in Crisis, but the fact that they left all the dead people actually dead.
Yeah, I imagine they'll come back after this whole death metal thing. It'll be like one of those, and these people are back now.
Hey, we hit the reset button, so are you gonna fuck with them again? And maybe put some writers that care.
Yeah, well, Dan DiDio's not there, so yeah.
That's true. Yeah, we might actually be able to enter a new age of DC Comics where the young heroes don't get fucked with as much.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, after 100 episodes, after 100 issues of Flash with Williamson on it, everyone really liked that. Maybe Wally can take a break, or maybe Barry can take a break and just be the Flash in Justice League, and maybe Wally can have the Flash title to himself. Wouldn't that be nice?
That'd be cool.
I think people would like that, and I think that book would sell like hotcakes just from fans who really want to show that, hey, we care about this character and we like him.
Yeah.
And it's not out of the question, too, Wonder Woman under Marika Tamako, which I didn't get a chance to read, but apparently that book sold out this week.
It did. It was a really good book.
It looked good. I bought it, and I flipped through it, and I'm like, man, I hope I get a chance to look at this. This looks good. And also, I want to support Tamaki because, hey, other Canadian creators, we gotta work together. These damn Americans will eat us alive.
Yeah, and she's an Eisner winner now. Yeah. So, good on her. That
Probably helped to, hey, get the new Wonder Woman fresh new start from the Eisner winner.
Yeah.
That certainly helped. All right, then. So there's your writer workshop thing. I hope that happens. I hope that goes through.
Absolutely, yeah. They did the talent they got on the recent special from this week, the Cybernetic Summer, was all really damn good. All the stories in that were really fucking fun.
Yeah, I didn't check that one out because I'm like, oh, it's another collection. But if you say it's good, that's great.
Yeah.
Now the next story, Matt, I'm actually gonna let you handle because I don't know anything about this. In fact, I haven't even found time to watch the show yet. But The Witcher is apparently so popular it's getting a prequel now at Netflix.
Yeah, prequel set hundreds of years before the events of The Witcher, and I'm excited. That's as well as the animated series or movie they're doing.
That's right, man. The Witcher would be really good in animation.
Yeah, so they're going all out on The Witcher, and I'm all for it. If it can continue like what it was doing in season 1, then hell yeah.
What, will Geralt be around in the 100 years before? Because I know he's older than he looks.
I don't know. Maybe not. I imagine they'll try and do it so it sort of sets up like what the schools are and everything, all the different like School of the Wolf and Griffin and all that sort of stuff, and maybe keep him out of it. Just let some other new Witcher take over. Maybe it'll be like Vesemir or something.
Oh, that would be
or something.
I like that. See, like, young Vesemir. Maybe they'll build up to the destruction of the schools and everything, and like why he lost his memory and had to go on the run.
Yeah, stuff like that.
That would be cool. I would like that. Cause yeah, there's just so much fucking lore in The Witcher.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's it's so deep, and there's like, oh, there's this nation that's attacking this nation, and then there's these elves and monsters suddenly appear and all that sort of stuff. There's so where you can go with it, like so many different places.
It's a good ass time for fantasy at Netflix. They got this. They got that live action Avatar show that's coming down the pipeline, and Dragon Prince got renewed for like 4 more seasons.
Oh, that's cool.
You been keeping up with Dragon Prince?
I haven't, no. I watched like the first couple of episodes and just like never got back into it.
Which is exactly what I did with The Witcher. It gets really fucking good, and it's from a lot of the same guys who did Avatar: The Last Airbender, and if you like Avatar, I truly think Dragon Prince is that great spiritual successor in terms of, morally complex stories for like, pointed at kids, but anyone could enjoy. Because like I'm sitting there watching, I'm like, this is a kid show because they're dealing with some very deep, compelling moral issues.
Well, that stuff's for the adults that watch it with the kids.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's like these villains don't feel like villains. These villains all have big long soliloquies about how they kind of hate what they're doing, but how have to do it anyway because of circumstance. And like all the worst things happen in that show, and it's like, oh, you did a terrible, monstrous thing for a very good reason. Fuck.
I kind of like you now.
Absolutely. There's like a thing in season 2, and people who have seen the show will know exactly what I mean, where it's like, oh, you did that for your brother. Oh, and he doesn't know. Oh, and if he finds out you did that, he'll be crushed. It's one of those shows, and I'm like, how is a kid supposed to handle that? That's a lot to take in. But you know what? Avatar was like that too. Avatar also had moments of that.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like, whoa, this is complex. So yeah, that's basically all the news for this week, everyone. Not much else going on, but that's cool. Should we take questions from the chat now, or should we wait and talk about what we read first?
Let's talk about what we read and then do questions.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll maybe go a little faster this week so we can save some more time for Q&A. And yeah, I read a lot. I didn't read everything I wanted, but I read most of the new stuff that I really wanted to get to.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so where would you like to start, Matt?
Let's see, what did we have? Well, we had Empire issue 3. We're halfway through this event.
Which is really hard to believe.
It is, and usually events like this kind of drag on, but like this plus their tie-ins they've all been really good, and that makes it like easier to digest and like get through.
Yeah, they're coming fast and furious, and I said before that I was foregoing a lot of the tie-ins just because I didn't have room. This was the week where it's like, oh, I really wish I read these tie-ins, because literally for these 3 issues, all the big like apocalyptic summer blockbuster action is happening in those tie-ins. If you read the main book, it's all like the smoky backroom socio-political stuff between all these warring factions.
Which, in events, usually it's the other way around.
Exactly.
The actual main issues is all like the big action, because that's what they sell those books on.
Absolutely.
And, yeah, all the tie-ins are all the back stuff. But yeah, it's really good that it's like kind of reverse. I love it. It.
Only Al Ewing could get away with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
To where it's like, no, we're going to sit down and have a conversation because we're adults and we're going to talk about character. Tony has a big, long thing there about how he felt hurt and betrayed by Sequoia. And, you know, you never feel like you're going to get fucked over by family like that. And Reed Richards, who actually has a real human moment there, too, being like, yeah, you know, I wear this 4 on my chest because my family's with me all the time, even when I'm a D-bag.
I like that Tony and that kind of, like, usually it's the other way around where Reed kind of calls Tony out on stuff, but it was Tony who called Reed out on stuff where, like, Reed is trying to, like, oh yeah, I understand what you're going through, and Tony's like, no you don't, you have a fucking family, look at that thing on your chest, that means you have a family, I have to go at it alone.
Yeah, we Avengers, we're a team, but we don't even like each other for long periods of time, especially right now, which I almost feel is like Ewing doing his own commentary on, like, Aaron's Avengers right now. It's like, these guys don't even fucking like each other.
yeah, these guys aren't a team. They just, like, work together just because the story calls for it.
For it to be, which, again, if you watch Elseworlds Exchange with Sal, he pretty much echoed the exact same sentiment, and I've always been nicer to Aaron's Avengers, but I'm like, okay, yeah, I see it now. I can't unsee it. Lot of fun space stuff going on. Man, Hulkling's really interesting. Everyone keeps talking down to him like he's a kid, but he keeps, like, you know, doing things to prove them wrong, whereas, like, fuck you, Super Skrull, I'm gonna send my sword to Black Panther because you're being a dick.
Yeah, and I love that he also calls them out on it as well. It's like, well, I'm not going to be like the cold and distant and practical ruler you want me to be. I'm going to be the ruler I want to be, which is a kind ruler and a forgiving ruler. And they're like, yeah, well, fuck you, Kree bad.
Yeah, they also come out and say it too, where it's like, look, you might be emperor, but you are a figurehead emperor. The actual boots on the ground aren't listening to you.
No, yeah, and it's very obvious they're not, because they're not listening to any of his rules about, like, taking prisoners or anything. They're just attacking them and killing the Kotati, which is escalating everything around the world.
Yeah, and makes it, like, a lot more believable, too, where it's like, yeah, why would these warrior races who have fought each other since the dawn of their existence, why would they listen to this kid emperor? They wouldn't! Yeah,
especially when he's calling for peace, for them to stop war, something that is, like, literally bred into them.
Which also literally means, too, that this, like, whole plan was probably doomed to fail from the get-go. And right around the time you start asking, they're like, well, if this was doomed to fail, you know, this whole crushing the Kotati and everything, why did they even get together in the first place? Who was the power behind this, pushing it all together? And it's like, oh, fuck, Tanalath is actually Raquel, the original Skrull Empress.
I fucking knew there was something up with Tanalith, because she kept going on, like, in, like, the Emperor Hulkling tie-in and all that, about, like he has to lead. He has to be the one to lead it. We have to, like, change him into this person. We have to. And I knew there was something fucking up with her.
And also, too, you know, when Klurt's talking about death and destruction, like, ooh, we'll drop an astro nuke on them. Oh, we'll do this. We'll kill them all. The fact that she's just being really quiet and just letting him talk and basically letting him hang himself. Where it's like, why doesn't Tanalath have anything to say as a pursuer? Oh, because it's not her.
Yeah, I thought that was really great twist.
Also leads to the question, too, if that's not Tanalath, how long has it been her?
Yeah. Well, it makes sense as well, because that's why she couldn't use the hammer, and why she had to give it to Carol.
I can't make the hammer sing ever since Ronan died. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I haven't read I'm going to read the Captain Marvel tie-in, because it follows on from that story, but I imagine there is something in there about that.
That's a great callback, and also speaks volumes to how deep Al Ewing's Marvel continuity brain is. Because if most people were like, oh, we'll bring back the Skrull Empress, they're like, oh, you mean the one from Secret Invasion in 2008? No, the one from the 70s.
Yeah, I had people think that it was the one that Norman Osborn killed. And
yeah.
I had to, like, correct him and say, no, it wasn't.
Even older than that, which is funny, because that was Bendis updating an old idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that, and I also see, too, what Ewing is saying, where it's like, no, this is going to change the entire, you know, basis of Marvel cosmology now.
Yeah, it's a big event, but as well, it's like, as we said before, it's kind of doing the things in reverse for all the actions in the tie-ins, so it kind of catches you off guard, where it's like, oh, this is actually going to matter in the long run.
Yeah. Did you read any of the tie-ins this week? Because we should probably get to those now that we're on the same track.
I did. I read the Captain America tie-in.
Oh, yes, because he's uniting the peoples of the world. He's winning hearts and minds.
Yep, and that's exactly what this issue is. He teams up to save the Pentagon from the Kotati invasion with a bunch of troops that he just meets. That one of the troops gets a bit overzealous and dubs themselves as the new Howling Commandos.
That's cute.
So he works with them, and he asks, like, the general in charge of the Pentagon that they need to get their men, like, around the world, specifically to Mexico, which ties in with the Savage Avengers one, which I read. They need to get them to Mexico so they can help defeat the Kotati before they get a foothold, but the general doesn't want to, because he's kind of one of those generals like, no, we need to protect American soil with American troops, including Captain America. Yeah, and Cap's like, fuck this noise. I saw the same thing happen in World War II, where someone didn't think it was our fight, and it almost cost us everything, so I'm gonna disobey orders and lead this group of soldiers to South America.
Nice, I like that. I was going to say, where's the socio-political commentary? There it is. Hey, it's like we keep fighting these same battles over and over again.
Yeah, and the Kotati end up going to Mexico because of all, like, the dense forest and everything. It's like the perfect, like, breeding ground for them, and they actually end up bringing, like, a mountain to life.
Oh, sure.
And yeah, it's like this giant, like, plant rock hybrid thing that I think they're just going to unleash on Mexico and wipe out all the people.
Which makes sense, because as we found out in this issue this week too, they can grow anything anywhere. That's why they wanted the vibranium mound in Wakanda, because assumedly anything they grew there would be super fucking strong.
Yeah, well, yeah, it relates back to that flower that bloomed on the moon because of the moon dust and stuff that was on the moon from, like, the Inhumans and stuff like that.
Which, hey, speaking of moons and tie-ins, I read X-Men 10 this week, so I did read a tie-in, and I love how they tie this together, where it's like, hey, aren't the Kotati staging their attack from the moon? Yeah. doesn't the Summers family literally live on the moon now? Yeah, they live like a block away. It's just Vulcan's too drunk and depressed to notice, and everyone else left on vacation.
Yeah, I haven't read this one, but I flicked through it and I'm like, yeah, that's right. The last time we saw them, the Summers like headed off on like vacation to like some beach somewhere.
Yeah, like literally, they leave Vulcan because they go to Shi'ar space, and he used to be the Mad King of the Shi'ar, so naturally they don't want him back. And like he's there with Petra and Sway, two mutants we haven't seen since Moira's original X-Men team, hilariously enough. And they're like, hey, Vulcan, do you want to like drink margaritas and have a threesome because we're mutants and we're all into hedonism now? And he's like, no, I'm too sad. I'm sad all the time now about everything. And we actually find out why he's been so fucking depressed.
Yeah?
Yes, and it actually ties into the end of War of Kings, actually.
Holy fuck.
Yes, oh my god, Hickman went back and answered a question from War of Kings, because like him and Black Bolt get into a big fight, and then they fall into the Fault, and then they're basically never seen again until they both end up popping up later, but they never actually say what happened there. Apparently some like extra-dimensional aliens grabbed Vulcan and experimented on him when he was in the Fault.
Oh, fuck.
And they do this very Egyptian thing where it's like, oh, we're weighing your soul. And we find you to actually have more evil in you than good, and we're going to cultivate this evil, and you're going to be like our super weapon. The only problem is that you're a fucking crazy person, so we can't trust you to, like, wait and be patient. So we're going to actually put, like, a little programming in you, so you're going to pretend to be nice and pretend to be normal, but in reality, you're still the same crazy conqueror you always were. So sad Vulcan is actually just, like, a defense mechanism to keep the real Vulcan away.
Oh, shit. Oh,
yes.
shit.
And when he's walking around on his depression walk, he literally walks into a Kotati war camp as they're like shooting at Earth. And Vulcan's like, hey, shoot at the Earth all you want, but those shots are getting pretty close to Krakoa. Maybe don't do that. And then they try and do the Khan thing of like planting a seed in his brain, and he goes nuts and kills them all.
Oh, fuck. So do you reckon like the Mad King's gonna come back, and it's gonna be like a vie for power between like him, Hulkling, Sequoia, and whoever else?
That's what they seem to be implying, or at the very least, this is going to be a big problem for the X-Men, because, like, Petra and Sway find him, and he's back to normal by then. And it's like, yeah, I took care of the Kotati, but, I'm still sad and stuff, and I don't know why. So, yeah, literally Vulcan is a ticking time bomb now.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love that. I love the connective tissue. I love that Vulcan literally walks into the crossover for the event.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, yeah.
He just walks into... And apparently one Kotati was alive enough to make it back to the others before it died. It's like, what did it say? One word over and over again. Krakoa, Krakoa, Krakoa.
I like that he walks in to the event, and he could end up possibly being like a huge part of the event as well. Like he just walks in, just walks in.
Yep, just walks in. Again, if he didn't go out for a walk that day, he wouldn't know. And I love that too, where Hickman's like, yeah, why aren't the X-Men getting involved when the world is under attack and everything? Oh, because the Summers went on vacation and everyone on Krakoa doesn't give a fuck because Krakoa is a plant nation and assumedly they're not attacking the big plant nation yet.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's like that X-Men, the actual X-Men Empire issue, like sees like they might be like testing the waters of attacking Krakoa and trying to take over the plants, but they got the zombies of Genosha to deal with.
Which I love. The only like quote unquote X-Men who care are Wolverine, who gets pulled into it just because he was around and because he still has good contacts with the rest of the superhero community, and Scarlet Witch, who isn't a mutant anymore but ends up getting pulled into it, and the rest of them do not care.
Yeah.
They're like, no, we have an island nation now. We don't come for events anymore. We have our own events, and you're not invited to X of Swords when that happens. It's all mutants all the time, baby. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. What else did you have?
Well, I had the Savage Avengers Empire tie-in.
Yes, you were tweeting about this, and you just had a great freaking time with this.
Oh man, this was such a fucking cool issue. Jerry Duggan just having some fucking fun with Conan and Venom just fucking shit up in Mexico City. So the whole deal is that like, Conan's been on his journey through Savage Avengers in his book, and he's wound up in Mexico, and he's just trying to have like some fun. He's watching like wrestling, like Mexican wrestling, and he's not happy with it because he's like, this isn't combat. Why aren't they killing each other? And it like angers people, and he ends up getting into a big fight. But the Kotati invade and end up ruining his night. So he's like, right, well, I'm just gonna fuck him up, and he ends up getting poisoned and almost eaten by like their giant plant, which has landed on Mexico City since it's the most population dense city in Mexico, and they're eating the people to like turn them into fertilizer for their army. And he ends up getting saved by Eddie Brock, who is apparently in town just for the museums, because he's a man of culture.
Absolutely, taste and culture.
Yeah, they end up like breaking into a strip club and telling everyone to like take up arms and against the invaders. So they end up getting like Mexican farmers with their combine harvesters.
I saw that. That looked amazing.
Fuck up all the Kotati and everything. Conan gets at the wheel of one of them, which is really cool. And yeah, it just ends with like them blowing up the ship and then eating tacos.
Love it. Love everything about it. That's what a book called Savage Avengers should be doing.
Yeah. Why, like, the thing is as well, it read like this is like the first issue of like a buddy cop with these two. It's like, why haven't they got a book, and why aren't they calling it Lethal Protectors?
Ah, my God. Print it now, Marvel.
I would read that book every week if they made that. And if it was written by Jerry Duggan again, like, it would be so fucking cool.
There is so much money in what you just said, Matt. Oh my God!
Like, why can't they do that? Just do it. It'll it's a license to print money.
Why is Savage Avengers not called Lethal Protectors? I'm sure that was a name they had then. They're like, no, Avengers. It's got to be Avengers something.
Yeah, and I think this is like a 3-part series. So I imagine each issue is going to be like 2 members of the Savage Avengers, because this story ends, and I imagine the next one's going to be like, I know, Brother Voodoo, and they can't do Punisher unless he somehow comes back.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Punisher's dead technically, isn't he? Or missing.
Yeah, he hasn't been seen for a long time, since the end of that Matthew Rosenberg run.
Yeah, I think they were putting old Frank on ice there for a little bit.
Yeah, for good reason.
Bring it back when it's a little less hot and a lot of less real world assholes are using his iconography. Can't blame him for that. That's a headache they don't need. What else did I have this week? On the DC front of things, I had the Suicide Squad #7.
Oh, this is such a fucking good issue.
Man, Tom Taylor is just killing it on this book. Suicide Squad is one of the best team books on the shelf right now. If you're not reading it, you're really doing yourself a disservice. He really zeroes in on Deadshot this issue, and this is just Floyd Lawton dealing with his family and, trying to give up the assassin life.
Yeah, and I like that he knows he can't ever make up for what he did and what he's done and everything, and he's like, look, I just want my family to be safe. It's all good there. They're all safe. And then his daughter's just like, I want to be like you, but not kill people.
Which is adorable. And she has her own costume, and she calls herself Live Shot.
Yeah. I hope that becomes a thing.
Yeah, I know, where it's like, hey, the Titans are going to be recruiting soon. Why not?
Because she's Deadshot's daughter, he's kind of taught her everything. So she's like a crack shot with a bow.
Yeah, she's winning all her archery tournaments. She even made a costume for their little pug dog.
Yeah. Yep.
That's so fucking cute. And man, it's funny. Everyone was telling me that, Floyd looks a lot like John Wick in this series with the beard. Boy, do I really see it now when he's just wearing civilian clothes and when he starts shooting SWAT guys.
Yeah, when he's just fucking up the SWAT team.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's John Wick. I see it. And in a nice bit of everything coming full circle, it's Harley, of all people, who tells the team that they need to go back for him, and they do.
Yeah, they do, and they recruit him again because this is the only life he knows. He doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, which probably makes this the most sweet and supportive incarnation of the Suicide Squad ever.
Yeah, fucking 2020 is so weird because it's both like Suicide Squad and fucking Venom are like two books that are so fucking good that if you told me to read them like 5 years ago, I'd be like, fuck off, these books are shit.
I cannot believe it either. And his line at the end there is the best, where he puts on his old mask, a mask he hasn't worn since like the New 52. And he's saying, look, our next mission is we have to kill the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, that's gotta be real cool. That's gonna be real exciting.
That's a great notion. I love that, where it's like, we'll never be free until we break this whole organization apart. And I wonder too, are they gonna like recruit some other Suicide Squad guys to fight them? Wouldn't that be a fun setup?
Yeah, I'd like to see Captain Boomerang just come back.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he will once he's done in the Flash. I keep waiting for Waller to come back, because it's like, look, she's such a big integral part of this. What is she doing in forced retirement?
Yeah, maybe they'll bring her back and she'll help them. Maybe
be like, hey, you owe us, lady.
Yeah.
Because again,
maybe that will be their next target.
Absolutely, because again, I joked about it before, but I imagine Waller is just miserable without the Suicide Squad with nothing to do. I'd love to see she went back to the post office, because they say that's where she started in the government. She worked her way up from the post office.
Yeah, she's just, well, this is all I've got, all these organizations have been dismantled and everything. I just got the post office now. And now they're talking about dismantling that.
Oh my god, that would be so perfect and topical. I used to run Black Ops missions, and then corporate America took that away from me. Now Amazon and corporate America wants to kill the post office. There's no place for me anymore. Oh my god, that's a whole issue there. Amanda Waller defending the post office's honor.
Oh, that'd be great.
The post office is the last place where we're all equal, regardless of race, gender, color, or creed. You put it in the mail and it'll get to you at some point. It's one of the few government entities that fucking works, damn it. Oh, God, that would be amazing. Oh, that's so good. And this book is so good.
It is. It's really damn good.
Like, again, I've said it time and time before, but it's like, man, if Taylor can be so good on Suicide Squad, how have they never wanted to put him on something like Justice League?
Again, I think it has to do with him not being exclusive.
That's
if he was
true.
exclusive to DC, he'd be fucking writing Batman, Superman, Justice League all at the same fucking time.
Which hilariously, he still gets to write them all anyway in what he does.
Yeah.
He still figures it out. Man, what a great guy. I think Tom Taylor and Chip Zdarsky are two guys who are just on their fucking A game. And Ewing too, obviously. But they're having the best year in 2020.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is saying something, because most people are having really bad years, but they're having good years creatively. Creatively speaking. What again? Another DC book, Batman Superman number 10.
Yeah, the continuation of this atomic storyline with Ultra Humanite.
Yeah, I like what they do here. They actually explain and justify why the Ultra Humanite has all these brand new robotic parts.
Yeah, they do a little bit of detective work and track it back to, of course, a Wayne entity.
Isn't it always? I was gonna say even before that, because like he got a new character redesign, and it's like, well, why did he do that? Oh, because he blew himself up the last time he fought Superman.
Yeah. That was pretty graphic as well.
That was very graphic.
Like I thought, oh, is it a robot body? I'm like, no, it's not a robot body. It's like his actual body, and like he just doesn't give a shit because his mind is his powerful muscle.
Yeah, you see his bones, and he's like, whatever, I'll just go into another body, and he does.
Yeah.
It's like Scarface in the Batman cartoon. It's like, what? It's a wooden dummy. We can destroy it any way we want. It's not real. And this is fun too, because Ultra Humanite, he kind of calls into question, the makeup of the world's finest. Oh, you're brain and brawn together, but you're so often at odds with one another.
Yeah, what if Superman's brain was in Batman's body? It'd be amazing.
Yeah, it would pretty much be unstoppable. I love putting brains in bodies, if you didn't notice. It's kind of my fetish. I'm kind of all about it. And, in the end, too, he basically kidnaps Batman and gives him an atomic skull.
Yeah. I love that little bit where Batman's trying to get him to, like, monologue so he can escape. And he's like, bitch, please, I'm the Ultra Humanite. I already made you an atomic skull before you even woke up.
That's genius. Where it's like, don't you want to talk more about your evil plan? Huh? Evil plan? Oh, no, I'm already done. That's good. I'm glad to see the Ultra Humanite used. He's a good foil for Batman and Superman, because as he even says himself, I am, muscles and mind all together.
Yeah. He's a good, like, usually like in like a Batman Superman series, you have to have like two villains, like one to complement each, but he complements them both.
Absolutely, and he just needs to be in more shit because he's a cool design, a cool set of powers.
Yeah, and as well, they find a way as well to make him different from like Gorilla Grodd.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely, and also too, points too for Williamson for actually dealing with stupid shit like City of Bane and like Superman giving away his secret identity and actually making that the backbone of this story too.
Yeah, with people blaming Clark for like the almost like nuclear death of Gotham.
And he's like, hey, leave me alone. That wasn't me. Oh, great. They know my name now, so they can blame me for everything. Also, did you hear too? Superman's going to be banning TikTok. Damn it, media, you blame me for everything.
He's deliberately going around to everyone's phones and uninstalling it.
Which he can do. It's one of his superpowers. You didn't know it. It's right there next to freeze breath and being super...
and super ventriloquism. And
yeah, it's there. It's one of those old Golden Age powers that he doesn't use anymore. Being able to delete your damn apps. But yeah, that's a fun book. That's just a good old-fashioned team-up book. A lot to enjoy there.
Yeah.
I guess, too, I had the other X-Men book this week, the new one, X Factor, #1, long-awaited.
Yeah, and this was a damn good book.
Man, they don't make mysteries like this one anymore, do they? I love that this is like a straight-up Sherlock Holmes CSI mystery book now with superpowers.
Yeah. I thought like it was a little long-winded in some places.
Yeah.
Mainly like the overall explanation of like how powers work and how they did certain things. You didn't need to do that, but
it was very wordy.
Yeah, I really enjoyed like the little mystery of Aurora going missing and Jean Paul, her brother Northstar, assembling a team with Polaris to look for her.
Yeah, they do a lot in one issue. They basically set up an entire status quo in one issue.
Oh, yeah.
And I love, too, that it's Northstar, who's kind of the POV character on this one. And they literally waste no time. Page 1, my sister died, I need to find her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then he just goes around and berates a bunch of people, but berates them in a way that's like, yeah, I can see why he was doing that, like Hope and the Five are just like sitting around sipping coffee and kind of like taking in all the glory that they get from like resurrecting people.
They really make it seem like that Northstar is kind of like more removed from Krakoa, and as such his complaints are like, oh, this is probably how a lot of mutants feel but are afraid to say it, where it's like, hey, you five guys, you're high on your own sense of power now because you've become celebrities, because you have the power of rebirth on your side. How about you take this shit seriously? And it's like, oh, in every other book they're not shown like that, but that's how Northstar thinks about them, and maybe he's onto something, which makes them upset.
Yeah, and again, I love like all these little things that like all these writers are like trickling in about like Krakoa is like, yeah, it's kind of cool for mutants, but then like when you start peeling away the layers, you're like, oh, it's kind of like they're just kind of going back on themselves and like becoming human in a way.
Even the idea too that it's more Polaris's idea to start a new X Factor, because obviously she's been on so many different incarnations of the team. It's more her idea than Northstar, but she kind of brings him on basically to shut him up. And as we find up later, she's in cahoots with her dad, naturally, who's on the Quiet Council. I'm like, oh, they made him think it was his idea.
Yeah, and then that also brings up the question, it's like, oh, is Magneto bringing this team in that like is to like sort of monitor the Five and like kind of be like a checks and balances sort of thing to like go against Charles a little bit and like kind of see what he's up to? Or...
One hand is always watching what the other hand is doing. No one on the Quiet Council trusts each other.
No, absolutely not.
Nor should they. It's very ancient Rome. Everyone's just waiting to be Caesar with the knife in the back. And friggin' Xavier's already died once.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really fun, really well put together. Is this the best version of Daken that's been in anything? I think this is best Daken.
Yeah, I had a lot of people complain about him, but I'm like, no, I love like kind of bisexual will use his like charms and pheromones to get what he wants. Kind of like a little bit like snippy Darken. I like him, and I like that his whole reasoning for doing this is, oh, Aurora's hot.
Yeah, I want to bang your sister. I want to bang everything. I'm a hedonist, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah, I love it. I love his redesign as well.
Yeah, me too. As again, as some of the gay fans out there have said to me, he went from twink to bear in a matter of minutes, and I'm like,
this is what Krakoa tea will do to you. Is like that Alex Jones fit pills.
That's what it does. I like it too. I like that he's big and bulky now because he looks different than X-23. He looks different than Jimmy Hudson, and he looks different, obviously, than Wolverine. I'm like, yeah, thank you. He has his own look now. He's not just Junior Wolverine.
Yeah, and he's actually interesting.
Yes, and I love too that him and North Star get into some like catty gay club shit as they should. What does North Star call him at one point? You're a disaster bisexual, and I don't want you around.
Yeah, he's always causing trouble.
Yeah,
wherever you go, there is a mess.
Yeah, it's not because you're a former supervillain. It's not because all of this other shit. It's because of that. And also, too, Prodigy gets fun stuff to do, too, because they made a whole Hellions team and didn't invite him, even though Hellions was his team.
Yeah, Prodigy gets stuff to do, and like a lot, he's like the tech guy for the team, kind of, because of his powers. We got Prestige, who's like the psychic and everything, with their little amazing baby dog, which apparently that's the name of like Leah Williams' like high school band or something.
Is it? I wondered, because I'm like, where did this character from? This is fun. I like this. And also, too, because Hope Summers and the hounds in the future, so she has her own little werewolf now, and it's called Amazing Baby.
Yeah.
That's very cute. It's a fun book. It has very interesting personality.
And Eye-Boy, who ends up being like an integral part of the team.
Yes, he does. He ends up being very important. Also, Polaris is fucking the island, maybe?
I think everyone's fucking the islands in some way, some form.
Very much so, because she's like, oh, these tectonic plates, oh, the magnetics around it, oh, it feels so good, better than I have it. And she sleeps in like a crystal bed that the island makes for her, and then the next morning, a very phallic tower grows in its place. And it's called the Boneyard, too. I'm like, oh, they're hanging out in Krakoa's dick. One of its dicks.
I like that Darken is the one who calls it the Boneyard, because I like to think that like he didn't mean boneyard as in like a place where bones are.
No, not at all.
Boneyard, like this is the yard we fuck in.
No, yes, I plan to fuck in every room of our new hideout. So don't you worry. And the fact that North Star too, like when his husband comes to visit, Dawkins like, hey, and North Star's like, you get the fuck away from my husband, Dawkins. That's fun. I love that Dawkins this guy where it's like you cannot leave him with anyone.
Yeah, or anything, yeah.
Or anything, yeah. You come back, he's fucking the furniture. But yeah, X Factor is good and fun and everything I wanted it to be. And also, goddamn it, is this another X-Men book I'm gonna have to start reading now?
I know, yeah, but I'm not too fussy on like I'm not gonna drop this. Like this is a really fun book. I really enjoy it.
It is. It's also like, man, can one of these X-Men books suck so just we don't have to keep reading them all?
Well, we already had one that was like Fallen Angels and didn't really fucking matter to anything.
Yeah, I mean, that one was done so soon.
Yeah.
When it was done, it's done. I just missed a chat there from someone saying, hey, Joel, are you the new gold standard for Twitch podcast? Yes, this is me. This is my Shelton Benjamin era. I am the gold standard. That's how I will introduce myself now, Joel, the gold standard. Benjamin ain't using it anymore. I can have it. But yes, Dawkins, King of the Horny Mutants.
Yep.
Man, he'll be leading the Triple X-Men. That's a brand new book that's coming out. It's about the X-Men trying to take over the Silicon Valley porn industry.
Yeah, they gotta branch out into porn industry. That's what X-Corp is building towards.
There you go. Well, we need to recruit Multiple Man. Why? The greatest gangbang in history.
Yeah, you know why.
Jamie Madrox, we need you for the Triple X-Men.
That's why he went insane in the old man Logan future.
That's why. Mystique, no. They just keep following Mystique around. She's just like, no, never. But come on, you could be anyone or anything. Come on. Not happening. But yeah, so that's a really good X-Men book. What else did you have, Matt? Because I only had one more.
I got a couple more. I had Superman, Man of Tomorrow, issue 13.
Right. Oh yeah, you're still keeping up with the digitals, yeah.
Yeah, just this one. I kind of dropped off all the other ones because they started getting too many. I know there's a Shazam one that I'm looking at getting as well.
I saw you also enjoy it because the Jeff Johns one is fucking canceled.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's done. It's finished. Which it was always going to be. The fact that it even made it 13 issues is like a miracle in and of itself. DC murdered that book. They didn't cancel it. They killed it.
And it was just getting up into the good shit as well. We had Superboy Prime coming back and everything.
Yeah, it's basically freaking done now. What a shame.
Yeah. So Man of Tomorrow issue 13. This is a prankster story.
Oh, nice. Which version? Because there's been so many.
It was the Loomis version, but he kind of looked like you. He has like a huge handlebar mustache. He wears like tracksuits and everything.
Love it. Love everything about it.
Yeah. The story is about Lois. He's being he got transported from Central City back to Metropolis to sort of like be processed for the crimes in that city, and Lois ends up getting a tip from who she thinks is him, and she goes to interview him and learns that the tip wasn't from him. And just as she's interviewing him, his men try and break him out with like comically large mallets and giant marbles that like spread around the city, causing chaos and all that sort of stuff.
What is this Looney Tunes shit?
Yeah. So Superman has to go and stop all of this stuff while the prankster's like, I didn't tell anyone to break me out. So who's trying to break me out? And it can't be any of you guys because you guys are my team. So is one of you's trying to like usurp me or something? And he eventually finds out that it was his wife. Oh. And his wife pulled a prank on him and told everyone that he was planning on breaking out. So his crew would break him out and thus secure him back in prison.
That's fun. That's funny.
And yes, the Superman has to like save Lois and everything. And there's a great part at the end where like Clark was never told that Lois was going off to like interview the prankster or anything, and she says like, I do the exact same job as you. The only difference is you do yours with your underpants on the outside. and she doesn't need to tell him everything he does because he doesn't tell her every space invasion that he stops or anything.
Fair enough.
And he's like, yeah, it's a fair point. And of course, the book ends because Robert Vendetti's been writing this whole story about how Clark loses his business suits.
In every issue, yeah.
In every issue. And it ends with him going, I kind of lost my new business suit. And Lois telling him about financial risks and everything. I just want that to culminate in like a 3-part event where like the Kents go broke.
Because he loses his suits.
And he has to get like a loan from Batman or something.
Batman's like, here's a suit you can't lose. It's made out of like nanotech.
Yeah. Oh, he kind of had that in the New 52 and it was shit.
That's true, he did. You're absolutely right. If he had a nanotech suit too, it would like go crazy and become sentient and want to kill everybody or something.
Yeah, it'd become like some new fucking version of the Eradicator or some bullshit.
It always happens.
Yeah. We could write this story for days. We know exactly the beats.
And Superman's like, I just wanted to find my pants in the morning. Is that too much to ask?
I just wanted fit shoes that would fit properly. God damn it.
Why must it always become a villain? I guess the last book, the last new one I read this week was actually Spider-Man 45, and this is the official kickoff to Sin's Rising, the event that they've kind of been preluding to.
Ooh, is this the big Kindred event?
Big Kindred / Sin Eater event is what it is.
Yeah.
And wow, starts off really cool. In fact, I think a lot of people that were kind of unhappy with the book up until now are bored. I think this issue actually got a lot of people back in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so Sin Eater is back, and he's a ghost. Kindred literally dragged his soul from hell. And he's going around gunning for a bunch of D-list Spider-Man villains, including Overdrive. And Spider-Man ends up stumbling across this one night. He was planning to propose to Mary Jane, but she couldn't come back to New York in time to promote her movie.
Oh, no.
So, like, Peter's really depressed because he spent all this money on this beautiful evening that he's never going to get back now. And then he ends up stopping Overdrive from almost running over a bunch of people, but then realizes, oh shit, you're running from something. Oh fuck, the Sin Eater's back. Oh fuck, he's an actual ghost with a shotgun.
Oh fuck, the worst type of ghost.
Yeah, shotgun ghost, what do I do? He literally throws himself in front of the bullet to try and save Overdrive. The bullet goes through Spider-Man, though, and hits Overdrive. But even though Overdrive dies, Spider-Man is fine.
Oh, is that going to be a thing now where, like, he tries to stop the villain from killing all these, like, Kindra's got him killing all these people, and the whole thing is, like, Spider-Man cannot save these people no matter what.
It literally seems like that, and, you know, Spider-Man has this whole soliloquy of, like, you know, I have a lot of really terrible villains, but I hate Stanley Carter more than just about anybody, because, you know, he killed Jean DeWolf, who was my friend, and also he was the first villain that I almost went too far with and probably would have killed myself if Daredevil didn't stop me. It seems these bullets that he's shooting are literally like sin bullets, and it went through Spider-Man because he has no sins, assumedly, because he's a hero, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
The cops pick up Overdrive's body, and they, you know, take him to, you know, the morgue where, guess who is the coroner there? It's Carly Cooper, Spider-Man's old ex from the Dan Slott day, and a person a lot of people assumed was actually Kindred.
Yeah. Ooh.
And she's doing the autopsy and everything. It's like, okay, it says he was shot in the chest. Why is there no wound? He then literally shoots up Overdrive and he's completely fine. And they're like, what happened there? Oh, that bullet wasn't supposed to kill him. That bullet was to cleanse him. The Sin Eater literally ate his sins and then left.
Oh, fuck.
So is this like, look, I'm going to defeat you, Spider-Man, not by killing you and not by killing your villains. I'm going to redeem all your villains.
Yeah, the ones you couldn't. Oh, that's awesome.
So I'm going to make you obsolete. How does that make you feel?
Oh, that's so cool. That's so
very
cool.
They also bring up another thing, and I have a very good theory on this one. Carly Cooper again mentions, yeah, you know, I've been going to this superhero support group. Remember, it came out around the same time as, like, Sanctuary, and we're like, wow, they did this better in one issue. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, superhero support group for people who are close to superheroes but who are often hurt by their actions. That sounds a lot like what Kindred's going on about, isn't it?
It's going to be the group.
I was going to say, either Kindred is many people made up of the group who are able to fake having hell-like powers, because again, they're connected to some very powerful people, or Kindred is a person at that group who heard all their complaints and is now going after Spider-Man, not because Spider-Man did anything to them, but more as a symbol of superheroes hurting people in their lives.
Oh, man. So many layers. Oh, that's so cool.
That was my theory, and I'm like, ooh, that's smart, because why would you bring it back all these issues later? Why would you bring Carly Cooper back all these issues later?
Yeah. Oh, that's going to be so cool. Have they, like, because they did it for a couple of issues, and then they kind of dropped it. They haven't brought back, what's his name? Jamie the Clairvoyant. Because I was sure they were building up, like, that thing where it's like, oh, Spider-Man's going to use this to figure out who Kindred is. Or, like, as you said, like, he's going around, like, killing these villains. Look at, like, who the next villains are, so he can save them before that.
They have not done that. They have not brought back the Clairvoyant or his future-telling device, nor have they brought back Chameleon, who kind of seemed to be the, like, B and C-list villain who are also running around. To give Spencer all the credit in the world, he does a good job being like, hey, here's the Kindred story, Kindred. Then he'll take, like, 2 arcs off and do these other things and then come back to it.
Yeah, but I guarantee you all of this is going to be connected. It's going to be all connected.
Again, Spencer, as we saw with Secret Empire and Ant-Man and all this other stuff he writes, he just doesn't bring it up for no reason. And yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm sure you're 100% correct. There will come a moment where Spider-Man's like, I could look in the future, even though it's the wrong thing to do, and I could see if Kindred's identity is ever revealed.
Oh shit, and that could give him, like, sin as well.
Yeah, where it's like, hey, you broke the thing now, and now this thing's actually going to hurt you.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of interesting things going on with that. I want to do a video or podcast sometime in the next week where I'm like, okay, here's all the Kindred suspects.
Yeah, lay it all out and try and figure it all out. Yeah, oh, that's so cool. We're going to get the reveal very soon, though.
You would think so.
What issue was this? Issue 45?
45, yeah.
Maybe issue 50.
well, that's what begins the Last Remains story, and Matthew Rosenberg's coming on, and it's going to be a whole Spider-Man family story, so we'll see.
Yeah, they could do it like before that and just leave you hanging for like a whole arc with Matthew Rosenberg doing his thing.
I'm reminded too that, it's like it took them a long time to reveal who the Hobgoblin was originally, and everyone remembers that as being, oh, what a great mystery. And then it's like, well, it was a great mystery because they didn't know and they kept fighting over who it actually was. And even when they revealed Ned Leeds, they were wrong and went back and made it Roderick Kingsley. And I 100% feel that is what Spencer is trying to evoke here with the Kindred mystery.
Yeah, because he keeps going back to like those old Spider-Man like stuff, like all the stuff that happened in like Harry's apartment, like way back in time, and like all that sort of old stuff.
He's twice mentioned Nathan Lubinsky, Aunt May's, what was it, fiance who was in a wheelchair and gambled and everything. I'm like, is Nathan Kindred? Because you've mentioned him twice, and that's twice more than he's been mentioned in like 2 decades. Because like that would be a weird one where it's like, it was me, wheelchair gambling man. Bet you didn't see that coming. No, I didn't. Yeah, good job. But that was all I read this week. Do you want a lightning round through what you had left so maybe we can take some questions from the chat?
Yeah, well, I only had one book left, and that was excellent. Wonder Woman 759.
Yeah, new fresh start. How fresh a start, Matt? Can I hop into this not knowing anything else that's happened in the book?
Absolutely, because the first couple of pages are like kind of sort of a recap where it's the narration through the whole book is from Maxwell Lord's perspective about how he sees like Wonder Woman and how he doesn't think they're any different. One, as he puts it, he like evil is the hammer and good is the shield, and sometimes the shield isn't the right tool to use. Half the issue is like sort of a recap of like, here's where she's up to right now, and the book is her moving into her new apartment in Washington. She meets her new next door neighbor Emma, who is this young woman who's got she's had like brain damage or something as a child, so she easily forgets things.
I know what that's like.
Her and Diana sort of form a relationship, and they end up going to like the DC version of IKEA, which Diana absolutely fucking hates the idea of paying money to put your own furniture together. While they're there, they witness this woman driving off in her car, like with her child in the backseat down the wrong side of the highway. And the woman's talking about going to get ice cream for her child, and Diana obviously jumps into action and saves her. And the woman was seemingly being mind controlled by someone. And she said she could see the road as like she usually sees it, and thought it was all okay. And no one knows who it is, but Wonder Woman kind of has some ideas, so she ends up going to a prison, which at the same time was under a lockdown because there was a large-scale riot, because it's a metahuman prison. Right. And all the prisoners there are under Maxwell Lord's control, and he instigated a huge riot.
Wicked.
Which may have been to bring Wonder Woman there, maybe not.
Makes sense.
But yeah, Wonder Woman gets there, and Maxwell Lord tells all the prisoners of the prison just to kill themselves, so they all do it. And he just confronts her, and that's where the issue ends. And as well as like solicitations, we know they're going to like team up and everything.
Yeah, have like a weird Mulder and Scully thing going on.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that, because I guess like the idea is that Wonder Woman thinks Maxwell Lord is behind this, because it's like sort of the same sort of thing that he would do, and naturally. They have to team up because they have like kind of an interesting history. For people who don't know, Wonder Woman in Identity Crisis killed Maxwell Lord.
Yes, but we don't know. Does he remember that?
I don't think so. I don't even think if that's canon now. At least
I don't think it is either
right now. But yeah, so they've got to kind of team up, and they've got like those kind of dueling ideologies where each think of themselves as the hero, and they think the other one is the villain, which is really interesting.
Also, just good to use Maxwell Lord and stuff again. I feel like they were sitting on him waiting for the movie, because obviously Maxwell Lord is the very Trump-esque villain of the new Wonder Woman movie that we're still gonna have to wait to see.
Yeah, well, I think this was going to be coming out around the time the movie came out. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, kind of makes sense. But yeah, it's cool. And yeah, we haven't seen Maxwell Lord since Justice League vs. Suicide Squad, and they were planning on doing something with him. And yeah, I guess we'll find out what that was.
Yeah, the fact that they sat on him for as long as they did is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad he's back, and I'm glad that Marika Tamako is getting to write it, and I'm glad that people seem to be enjoying it as it's sold out.
Yeah, it's got Mikhail Janin on art, and it looks really fantastic.
Nice. That's got to be a good feather in the cap too, where it's like, look, I'm finally doing a Wonder Woman book people want to read. It seems.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's good. Oh no, it wasn't Identity Crisis. It was another one of the crises, apparently. But still, I know.
What OMAC project was part of the Identity Crisis, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, Infinite Crisis. Crisis.
It's been so fucking long now. All these crises run together. All the old ones, at least. I can barely remember what I read this week. So, yeah, hey everyone, with that out of the way, we're going to dedicate the rest of the show to taking some questions for all the most loyal fans, all 54 of ya, that stuck around this whole time.
Hell yeah.
Question, Joel, are you going to read Power Rangers again? They're ending 55 issue run, the main issues, and renumbering already. Wow.
Well, if they're renumbering, I'll definitely read some Power Rangers, because I see pages from it every now and then. I'm like, that looks really fucking cool. I wish I could read that.
I see that. I see the new toys they're doing, and I'm like, that looks fucking sweet. I wish there was more hours in a day. I wish I had a goddamn assistant. I wish I had some way to do it. I've joked before, but the only way I'm going to catch up on all this reading is if I take a long plane trip or go to prison for a little bit. And neither of those are going to be happening anytime soon. Given how much quality we're getting during... Oh, goddamn, it's moving too fast. How much quality we're getting during the quarantine break, do you think Marvel DC can afford to have an off-season? Very interesting question, DNG. I joked about this on Twitter, and it was Matt who made me think of it, where it's like, wow, we're getting all these issues of Empire really quick and really close together because they had 2 months off to sit and wait and work. Maybe they should have an off-season.
Well, yeah, they should do like what like DC did. Like Marvel, like there were a couple of weeks there where there was like fucking nothing from Marvel, and it paid off for them. But as well as like you kind of got to give them something so people kind of remember that you exist. So they should do something where like they have off seasons, like where like all their main books go on like a TV show like hiatus, and in the in-betweens is like the DC digital firsts.
It would
and
give
stuff
people,
like little stories and stuff.
Yeah, it would give people more time to charge their creative batteries, give them more time to plan shit out, and make the heart grow fonder for when they come back.
Yeah, so when the season premieres again, it'll be like really big.
I would say take Christmas off, take like a December off.
Yeah.
Although maybe not, because YouTube ads are worth more than definitely keep working through Christmas, Cratchit. But yeah, that's definitely something to think about, an off-season for comics. Really, for like a lot of things, I think an off-season could only help. Cameron Winkler asks, what is your favorite awkward first meeting? Ooh, I have a good one for this, actually. When I did the Vancouver Comic-Con there, the first time I was there, I had talked to a dude for like months, but didn't actually know what he looked like. And he came up to the table, and I thought he was just an awkward fan, but he was actually the dude running the thing. I'm like, hey, nice to meet you. Hey, are you a fan? And I basically talked to him like he was a fan and not the guy who was running it. And I didn't know till later when I left, when I checked his Facebook page and saw that it was him, and I felt like such a fucking dope. Yeah, I talked to his second in command because like I didn't see him for most of the show. He's like, hey, talk to my second in command running it, and I did. And yeah, he was a very meek, unassuming guy, and I didn't know he was actually the dude running the show. So sorry, guy, if I seemed weird and like big timing you. I wasn't.
I had a guy like, and it was really interesting for me because like I go to fucking cons around here, and they're very like small in compared to like American and Canadian ones. Yeah. And a guy came up to me and said, "Oh, I know who you are, like big fan," and then just like walked off.
Aw.
Like, before I could even say anything, he just, like, ran off into the crowd and disappeared.
Never to be seen again. Some people are neuroatypical like that. Some people aren't good with meetings, and that's fine.
Yeah.
KT asks, where's the Dark Phoenix commentary coming? Maybe in 400.
Good question, Joel.
maybe in 400 episodes. Maybe after we've already done Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark, and we gotta keep digging deeper. We can dig a lot deeper. Here's the question: when the fuck is New Mutants coming out? Like, what are you starved for anything? Just fucking put it out.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be coming out in August, but I don't know if that will happen.
If you put it out on any of your streaming services, it would be the talk of the town. Everyone would watch it. I don't know what you're holding on to it for. It literally doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Space Lord, similarly. Hey, Joel and Matt, now that Marvel owns the rights to X-Men again, do you guys think we can get the marriage of Black Panther and Storm again in the comics? Maybe if they want to do something for the movies, I could see that happening.
I don't know, because like the way Krakoa's being built, like a lot of the mutants, including Storm, really seem like set on like filthy humans.
Yeah, I don't see that.
Like, I could see them thinking like, oh, maybe like Black Panther and like Wakanda's a bit different because they're very similar, sort of like closed off societies sort of thing. But like, again, like, I don't know whether they'd actually do that.
Maybe like a medieval marriage of convenience to, join the houses of Krakoa and Wakanda once again.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people seeing that as like a final straw to be like, oh no, they'll be too powerful if they form a marriage.
Yeah, the Avengers have to go stop this.
Yeah, really. Does anyone object? Yes, I, Captain America, reject. I object. I'm drunk already. Jabu84, who do you think is under Ghost Rider's bus now? Good callback to an old episode. That was one there, what is it? Who's riding the ghost bus and who gets thrown under the ghost bus? Yeah, what's a character who's been thrown under the bus? I mean, obviously anyone who died in Heroes in Crisis comes to mind.
Yeah, Roy Harper. Yeah,
all of those people.
Guys. Yeah,
a lot of the X-Men dug themselves out from under the Ghost Rider bus because, like, literally any C and D-list mutant gets to be on a team now in a pretty good book.
Yeah, there hasn't really been like any in the last couple of like months or years, like mainly since Dan DiDio left.
I mean, I guess Wally West Flash was probably thrown under harder than anyone, but even then, he's still he's thrown under, but he's like still the focal point of death metal. So it's like, no, we didn't throw him under the bus. He's fine. We're propping him up like Weekend at Bernie style, but he's like already dead. No, he's fine. He's everything you know and love. Go get him, champ. Go get him. What else we got going here? Hey, Joel, when are you and Matt gonna watch Batman versus Dracula? Yeah, I haven't seen that one. Maybe for Halloween.
Oh, then, yeah, that's an old one, because that was like a tie-in with the Batman cartoon.
It was. Yeah, which I can't believe I never saw.
Oh, you never saw it?
No, I never have, actually. I probably
It was like kind of good, but the Joker in it was fucking weird.
So like the Batman is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Question, Joel, pitch your idea for Green Arrow comic series or a Roy Harper series. Make it happen. That's my pitch. Do anything with it.
Just anything. Just make it happen.
Just make it. Do I have a pitch for Green Arrow? Yeah, I would do Hush, but with Green Arrow villains instead of Batman villains. That would be my pitch. That's literally my pitch. I have it written out. They can call me whenever they want. Tevia, Joel, when Matt, do you think Barbara Gordon will ever become Oracle again now that Batgirl is canceled? Well, Tevia acts like Batgirl hasn't been canceled a bunch already and that they still never changed that or made her Oracle again.
Nah, she's not going to be Oracle again. Someone would have to come, like KG Beast, shoot a bullet into her leg, and it'll like turn her into Babs Gordon or something.
It would be a little distasteful now, given how much time they've spent, giving her legs again and helping her walk again and overcoming it and everything. It would be kind of shitty.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, she could maybe take up Oracle as a code name and maybe let Stephanie Brown or Cassandra Cain be the new Batgirl.
Yeah, and again, like they could also just be times where she's needed on a computer more than out on the street or something.
Yeah. Zeke asks us there, Joel and Matt, if you could write a comedy run for Superman, what would your pitch be? Maybe just the weird powers of Superman, just every issue dedicated to some like weird golden age power he doesn't have anymore.
No, well, you set it up as like Mixel Spitlick comes back and just like gives him like his golden age powers, and it's a Superman who doesn't know what the fuck all these old like I can now kiss people and they'll forget, so I'm gonna kiss everyone in the world or something.
Yeah, definitely. Cameron again, what's a non-Marvel or DC comic that you wish you could get into? I know a lot of people really like Hellboy. I haven't really read much of Hellboy. Umbrella Academy is really popular now, so I feel like I should probably go back and read some of that, but then again, it's also fun to discover the show and not to have anything to compare it to.
Yeah, I'd want to read, like, I've read some of like the Alien vs Predator books and stuff like that, and I'll get to read more of them because Marvel own them now.
Yeah. Ooh, CrusaderCon with a good one. What's one nerd-related thing looking back on you regret? For him, it's intensely arguing Goku would win a fight or going to school dressed as Rorschach. Yeah, that Rorschach one is rough. That's a rough. Yeah, I'd regret that.
You can't do that nowadays.
No. You get put on a watch list. Wow, it's hard to top that one, CrusaderCon. Thank you for the honesty. What's a nerdy thing I regret? I mean, I was really into anime once. Once. I mean, I read
all it takes just one hit of that anime.
I regret to say that I probably read more fan fiction than I care to admit. I'm glad to say all my regrettable nerd stuff is private and like was not public.
Yeah, no, I can't really think of anything I'd regret.
Like, I'm sure I've done stupid shit.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What else we got going on here? Yeah, Louise talked about our off season there and saying, hey, there better be stuff to read at Christmas. Yeah, you're probably right. Pat Senior, are you guys ever gonna get emojis for Twitch? Yeah, I feel 200 episodes in, we probably should, Pat. We really should. I don't know who I talked to about getting specific emojis, but if anyone knows a guy who knows a guy, please let me know.
Yeah, do you have to like make them yourself and submit them? Or I have no idea how that fucking works.
I think that's how it works.
Oh, okay then.
Who are some characters we would want to use for a Black Label story? Because, again, feels like there's way too many Batman ones.
Yeah, Batman. I'll use Batman. He's not been used.
Nah, he ain't been used in anything so far. Again, I want, like, some, like, Vertigo ones. I want, like, a Constantine, which I guess we're getting with Tom Taylor.
Yeah, we're getting that very soon.
But yeah, let's get, like, Swamp Thing or Unknown Soldier, characters that have already proven to work in that kind of setup anyway.
It's popular and their series just ended, but do a fucking Doom Patrol one.
Yeah, wow, that's a no-brainer, absolutely. Yeah, make that happen. Matt, what's your favorite Transformers series?
Ooh, wow. Ooh, I don't know. I mean, I like the G1 stuff. G1 stuff's really cool. I'm not too into Transformers. I don't know why people think I'm too into Transformers. I guess because I just started watching that new series.
Same.
Tweeting about it.
Same with me.
Beast Wars is pretty cool. Beast Wars was the one I watched like during like school. So
same here. That's the one I always come back to, which again I know makes us weird in Transformers land. Where it's like, what's the one you like? The one where they weren't cars.
Yeah, the one where they were monkeys and pterodactyls and shit.
That was good shit. I'm all about it. Question: do you think they might do another No Surrender, No Road Home with Ultraman coming into the?
They have to. They have to.
And don't forget the Alien and the Predator too.
Yeah. They have to answer like so many questions that it's kind of being answered in the Guardians of the Galaxy book, like with Hercules and all that being part of that. But like still, there's like stuff where you could do something like bring the Predator and Ultraman and all these characters. That Ultraman book comes out soon, doesn't it?
I think it does. You could call it Avengers, No One Can Hear You Scream. DNG, can we expect to see Matt show up on Capes and Quest for a guest cameo? I did actually want to get you to record some audio for like an NPC and then like throw that in instead of my voice and figure that's the way I could get people in.
That's a very smart idea.
It's like my lips would be moving, but your voice would be coming out of me. And in the audio version, no one could tell the difference.
Yeah.
Yes, you meet a man in a tavern. He speaks with a slight Australian brogue, and he says, "Hey, get me my fucking gold back, dicks." Huh. Interesting. So yeah, that's how I would do it if I did do it, and I'd like to get some people in there. What else we got going on here? To bring it back to 2011, the beginning, what's the best compliment you can give the Green Lantern movie? If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have a channel. Hating that movie literally was the impetus behind everything I've done.
It had Taika Waititi in it.
Yes, it did. It absolutely did.
It might have sold Hot Wheels. I don't know.
Potentially. I mean, we got some really funny jokes in Deadpool about it with Ryan Reynolds making fun of it.
Yeah, we still get those jokes.
Indeed. Legend of Shazam, Joel, when are you getting that YouTube comic book Royal Rumble happening? When they come up with a game that's not shit and that I'm willing to sit down and actually make it work with.
Yeah.
Tell you what, we might be able to do it in the AEW game when that eventually happens. Will you guys consider reviewing any of the WWE comics? Are they still coming out with those? I know they were good at first, but it feels kind of weird to do it now again. Let's see if they have some AEW comics, and I'll do those.
Wrestling comics a bit like they weird me out for some reason. I don't know why. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck?
It's you know what it is because it's different levels of canon is what it is. These are real people playing real people on television, and it's a story about the characters that these real people are pretending to be. I totally get what you're saying. It's like levels upon levels of storytelling is what it is.
Someone needs to ask like a wrestler that like a next meet where it's like, are these comics canon to your story? Like,
to your
did
life.
you really fight these people on the streets?
The first one they did, and I actually remember this is one I read. I read the first couple of those WWE comics, and they were actually pretty solid. The first one was Dean Ambrose, now John Moxley, back when he actually worked with the company, going into the swamp controlled by the cult led by Bray Wyatt of the Wyatt family, with Luke Harper, now Brody Lee, who was just an enforcer at that time, to save Sasha Banks from like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre thing. And
oh god.
Then I think they get into big like souped up monster trucks, and it's like, I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous, but also kind of cool.
So you gotta ask them if that's canon. Did you really get into a giant monster truck and fight swamp cultists?
Yes, I did.
He probably would say that too.
Yes, absolutely. It gets even fucking weirder because then, like, the next one he tried to do something with Roman Reigns, who everyone hated at that time, even though he was supposed to be a good guy. So literally, it's him retconning Roman Reigns' origin story, but not just the character of Roman Reigns, the guy who he is. Because his father was also like a wrestler. He was one of the head shrinkers back in the day. And again, it's just fucking layers and layers of real life and fiction. And yeah, it hurts your head sometimes. It's very clever, but it hurts your fucking head.
Yeah, they got to do a crisis then, like to sort of sort out the continuity. They have Rowdy Roddy Piper come in from the timeline, and we have to go back and save Macho Man. And
but he's actually Domaniac. All right, what else we got going on here? Well, DNG, we talked about that JSA teaser at the top of the show we did.
We did.
Yeah, contractual thing with funds, movie theaters that were set to release back then. Yeah, I don't know what the new release thing is going to be for movies when they're actually supposed to start coming out again. That'll be a weird thing to figure out.
Yeah, didn't like Universal make a deal or something where it's like the movies will release in cinemas and then like VOD will be very soon after, like after a few number of weeks it then goes to VOD straight away instead of like the wait. Yeah,
they're gonna have to figure that one out for sure. Crusader Con, what's your favorite Simpsons episode? I really like Camp Krusty. In fact, Camp Krusty was actually supposed to be the plot for the movie back in the day.
That's a good episode. I could see that being a movie.
Yeah, that was apparently what they were supposed to do, and you could see how they could definitely stretch that out into a movie.
Yeah, I like the one where the carnies grift Homer out of his home.
That's really good too. If I throw this hula hoop over the roof, you gotta give it back to me.
And then the Carney's wearing his shirt, and it's like comically large. And
hey, look at me, I'm a millionaire. Oh, he messed with my ass groove. Yes, Space Lord, I would recommend Green Arrow Year One. It's fun. It's a lot of the stuff that the TV show actually took a lot of stuff from. Do you hope DC ever makes Jade one of the main Green Lanterns on Earth again? It's been so long, I think most people don't even remember Jade. But that being said, if Jade shows up in Stargirl, maybe.
I'll say this. Earth has too many fucking Green Lanterns at the moment. Way too many.
They do.
Way too many.
It is really too much. Ooh, Deep Space Homer's a good one. Oh, this is probably more a question for you, Matt. What's your favorite Star Wars novel?
Ooh. I think everyone expects me to say the Thrawn trilogy from Timothy Zahn, like Heir to the Empire and all that, but I would probably say this is gonna get a lot of shit, but I'd say Darksaber just because it's so fucking bad.
There you go.
It's comically, Hutt's making lightsaber shaped Death Stars that get destroyed when they fire, and Hutt's falling over themselves and all this weird shit. Yeah, it's so fucking bad.
What's your opinion on Arrow as a show now that it's over? I didn't watch most of it, and I will continue to not watch most of it, but ultimately I'm glad it existed because Stephen Amell turned out to be a pretty good dude, and if not for him, we wouldn't have gotten the Flash show I liked, and the Legends show I like, and Stargirl, and all this other stuff that came because of it.
I watched the last season. Last season was good, but mainly because it all just dealt with shit from, like, Crisis of Infinite Earths.
True enough. Ooh, favorite Treehouse of Horror episode. Those are the Halloween-centric ones. Oh, man. There's so many great ones.
Oh, yeah. The one where fucking Ned Flanders fucking rules the world.
That's good, and it's like an Orwellian nightmare, and Homer keeps fucking with the toaster. That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, the Shining one is pretty damn brilliant. No beer and no TV make Homer something go crazy. Don't mind if I do. That's pretty goddamn great. Oh, the Clinton and Bob Dole one, man. That one seems even funnier in retrospect, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What are you spraying me with? Rum, so no one will believe your story.
One with George Bush Sr. moves across the road.
Oh, that's a killer one, too. And now here's what they taught us in CIA. If he doesn't think George Bush will do that, he doesn't know George Bush. Zeke is right, that episode giving us the immortal I voted for Kodos. Which I feel we get a lot of use out of that these days, don't we? Don't blame me, I voted for Kodos. Oh, man. That's like the only reason I still have my Disney Plus right now, so I can still go back and just watch like the first 10 seasons over and over again.
Oh, I don't have Disney Plus anymore. I'll get it back when Mandalorian starts again.
Which will be fairly soon, won't it?
October, I think.
Yeah. You mean you didn't want to watch Beyonce's brand new experimental music video film that came out this week?
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
It's called Black is King, and apparently it's a retelling of the story of The Lion King, but done with real people and set to music, and it's totally Beyonce's brainchild, and Disney was totally cool throwing down money for it, which I think honestly says a lot, which, like, hey, good for her, especially because it's literally a take on The Lion King, and The Lion King people paid you for it, so...
Isn't that just the musical, though? Like, people dancing around pretending to be lions?
I guess. It's an art movie, so, you know. Oh, man, speaking of movies, I watched that documentary Tread last night on Netflix. That's good.
I saw you tweeting about that, yeah.
Oh, man, you guys got to see Tread. If you remember back in 2004, it kind of became a viral story in the proto-internet, but some crazy asshole from Colorado made a tank in his backyard and tore up a small town to get revenge on, like, the local city council that he thought wronged him. And it's a brilliant documentary because, like all crazy people, he recorded a manifesto and there's, like, hours of tapes.
Yeah.
So the first hour of the documentary is the story from his point of view. Then in the second half, they start talking to the real people involved, and they're like, no, he was insane. None of that ever happened. I talked to him once, and he thought there was a massive conspiracy in this small town against him. And then literally, like, the last 20 minutes is just footage of the tank rampage in this town. Luckily, no one died, is the thing.
Except for him.
Except for him. He killed himself, which is funny because it's like, then the next day, Ronald Reagan died, and no one remembered the dude's crazy rampage anyway.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you, it is the perfectly applicable movie for the day and times we live in, because it's like, oh, here was a rich yuppie who had everything going for him, and yet he, for some reason, had a persecution complex and mistook small misunderstandings, to be massive, huge conspiracies against him.
Yeah,
and
everyone was against him. All the companies in this town were against him. And
I'm like, why do I feel if this dude was alive, he wouldn't be wearing a mask right now? There's mildly inconveniences me. It's also funny, too, because I live in a small town, much like the town that is referenced here. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I actually worked in my city council recording stuff for public access. And, yeah, this was the dumb bullshit they would talk about there. And, oh, yeah, one family does kind of own all the stuff around here. And, yeah, no, I never considered it because they're, like, pretty blue-collar people and they don't have enough power to abuse it. But, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's how shit goes in small towns, where it's like, yeah, their great-great-grandfather bought a parcel of land 100 years ago, and now all their kids work in different places all over. Ooh, Cameron Winkler, what's your favorite documentary? There's so many good ones.
Oh, yeah, there certainly are. Like, as you mentioned, Tread seems to be a good one. I haven't watched it. Yeah, I'm going to watch it later on. What do I like? I think I talked about it on the show. It's called Tickled.
Oh,
and it's about like the competitive tickling scene and how it's like extremely like corrupt and shady. It's so fucking weird. A bunch of like sex weirdo millionaires and shit. And yeah, that was fucking weird, man.
That sounds good. Oh, thanks, Danny Blackston, for that. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's so many good ones out there. I mean, Netflix, you can't friggin', swing a dead cat without hitting a great documentary. There was a PBS like 12-part series on like the circus and another one on prohibition that are just endlessly fascinating.
There's that new one on Netflix which I started recently about the mafia.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, New York City of Fear or whatever. Yeah, that was a good one. And, like, I know that story pretty well because I'm a big fan of, like, mob history and I've read, like, books and shit. That one boils it down into 3 pretty good episodes. My favorite part, I don't know if you've gotten to it yet, but literally they're like, yeah, so in the 80s, organized crime was booming because they owned the Teamsters Union and, like, everything that got built in New York, they got a piece of. And every real estate developer was mobbed up to the eyeballs. And they're like, pictures of Trump, pictures of Trump, pictures of Trump. And I'm like, ooh, the editor here was trying to say something without saying it, huh? Oh, really? There's a McDonald's documentary on HBO? That sounds like a good one.
Yeah, was that the one on, like, the founder? Like, the guy, the Roy, whatever his name was?
Yeah.
Roy Kroc, yeah.
I'm assuming so. It's the one about him, though. Here's the thing. Did McDonald's have a hand in that one? Because I would love a Roy Kroc documentary that McDonald's didn't have a hand in, like the real dirty history of it.
Yeah. Same with like I'm sure there's probably one out there about like the history of like Walmart because I know I think it was in a Penn and Teller episode where they actually talked about like because I think it was Penn or Teller who's from the town that Walmart lived in.
Yeah,
and he knew about how like they'd like run all the businesses out of town and everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Walden family in general is pretty freaking evil in general. And it's funny, my town just struck down actually to build a Walmart, which they were going to build like a block away. On one hand, I'm like, oh, good for them. All the small mom and pop shops are saved. But on the other hand, I'm like, hey, I would have liked to have gotten candy and tube socks and batteries. And
in the same aisle.
Yeah, and a leaf blower all in the same place. Oh, well. Also, too, if they did build it here, that means this place I'm living in now, I could probably offload for a good amount of money.
Oh, yeah.
So, that's unfortunate. What else we got going on here? About the Monopoly game, McMillions. Oh, yeah, that's right. They did one about how that Monopoly game is, like, actually very,
rigged. rigged with like the people who like the marketing people, like they just give out things to their family. I think they're making a movie with that with like Ben Affleck and stuff.
That's right, yeah, when they uncovered it. And I always knew that game was rigged, but every year, me and my friends, when my buddy Devin got a car, we would always drive over to McDonald's, which was right by our school, and we would all order something, and we would all try and complete the Monopoly board, and every year, we got every piece but one.
Yeah, you'd always get one piece off. I remember I was like one piece off, like some winning like a jet ski or something. I don't know.
I think we all wanted a PS4 that year, which I don't know how we would split a PS4, but we tried. We tried. Yes, I have seen that 30 for 30 on Andre the Giant and the one on Ric Flair. That was really good.
The Andre the Giant one I've seen, it was really good.
It was really good, man. Dude lived an interesting life. Most definitely. Zeke won a free breakfast, so you won more than me then.
But like, didn't everyone win that? Like it was like guaranteed you'd win like a free small fries or like fucking a drink.
In Canada, they have a thing here at Tim Hortons called Roll Up the Rim, where you drink your coffee and then you roll up the rim, and then, you know, sometimes you get prizes under there. And again, you can win like $100,000 and a jet ski and everything. I never knew anyone who won the big prizes, but you would always win a coffee or a donut or something.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always how it worked, and it's always been a big deal here. But I know sometimes there's been like whole legal battles when people did win the big money, where it's like, hey, that was my coffee cup. Yeah, but you threw it away though, so it became mine. Like literally epic games of finders v keepers.
Yeah.
Is what it ultimately became. So yeah, I mean, I guess we've been talking for about an hour 30 now. I guess we can start winding this show down then.
Yeah, definitely.
We've
been going for over 2 hours.
Which again, you know, that's what you get for 200 episodes. I've thoroughly sweat through my clothes at this point right now, so I need to friggin' shower again. My weak ass air conditioner over there. But yeah, thank you everyone for coming out and hanging out for us. All 40, you know, we had about 70 people here at one time. You know, just so appreciative. We wouldn't be able to do this if not for you, and we really mean that.
Absolutely, yeah. We do this show for you guys.
Yes, you know, we always want to try and entertain you, and I know it's probably more important now than ever with everything being the way it is. Thank you for spending your Saturday night with us, and we promise that we'll try and bring you more joy and more fun times in the future. And for everyone who donated, again, nothing is ever expected, always appreciated. When you see this later over on my channel, Wednesday at 8, as it always is, I got an Amazon link down there too. I try and, you know, put a link there to a comic that Matt and I talked about that we really enjoyed, and anything you buy from there is super supportive. The patrons, of course, too, you'll be getting this first before anyone else, both audio and video versions. You guys keep the lights on, especially in these quarantine times when I was honestly making more off Patreon than I was off YouTube when the numbers were really bad. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Much appreciated. And we'll be back again next week for episode 201. Like nothing changed. This train don't stop.
yeah. We've got some really cool stuff coming up for you guys on the
yes.
show. So yeah, keep an eye out for all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, August is going to be fun and interesting. I've got at least 2 guests lined up. Jason wants to come back to talk about his book. I got a Harley Quinn related guest coming up. Hopefully, if that can work out. And
we've got DC fandom coming up.
That's right. That'll probably be huge, I think.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's going to be a big one, so we'll definitely be interested in that. So yes, thank you everyone for wishing us a happy 200, and a happy 200 to you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you everyone.
Let's do this again next time, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.